Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people. Power to the people.
It's on now. We ready. Let's go. Black Alpha Network, certified Black Society, foundational Black Americans, all day, every day are in the building. Shout out to everybody who's tapping in. You know, we had to get this one special. Happy Halloween. You know, and since it's Halloween, it's only right that we got everybody shook right now. We got them scared. We got them running. They don't know what to do. But that's all in course because this is how we play the game. Foundational Black American, certified Black Society on them. Y'all make sure y'all smash that like button. Make sure y'all stay tapped in and subscribe to the Black Alpha Network. But before we go any further, before we proceed, which we're going to, I need you to let me know right now where you at. This that FBA roll call. We in the building, in the place. Let me know where you are, what city, what town, what state, what region. Is all good on this side. I already see Columbus, Ohio in the building. Ohio State Buckeyes, #1 team in the nation, certified. Salute. I already got everybody tapping in. I see Montgomery, Alabama. Y'all still out there swinging them chairs in Alabama. I see you. Let's do what we do, how we do it. This is nothing but a family affair, family tree. We all rock together. Texas in the building. Let's make sure that we let the whole damn world know that this is always been about us, and it's going to continue to be about us. No compromise, only us in the building every day, all day. But family, y'all know, not only have we been certified, not only have we been regulating, not only have we been out here letting everybody know what type of time we're on and the way we move and the way we operate, because, you know, that's how our lineage gets down. But, you know, these politicians been trying to duck and dodge us. They've been doing it for a long time. I see you, Charlotte. Yes, indeed. Dade County 305. I see you, too. These politicians have been running. They've been hiding. They've been ducking. They've been trying to see everybody except for us. They don't want to look at us eye to eye. But guess what? If they don't want to come see us, then we gonna go see them. And that's the type of time we're on nowadays. In this generation, in this era, we're making sure that everyone knows it's all about foundational Black Americans. If y'all don't want to give us reparations, we're going to get reparations. We're going to create it. If y'all don't want to give us hate crime laws to protect us, then we're going to protect our goddamn selves. And if you do not want to sit down, meet with us eye to eye, have a conversation, then we're going to meet with you face to face, eye to eye, have a conversation. Now, something went viral the other day. You know, something went down, and it really is very indicative of what we've been on, and it's very indicative of this generation and this era. And, you know, down here in the Deep South, as well as my brothers and sisters on the West Coast, the East Coast, and Midwest, because we move together as one unit. Family, shout out to Brooklyn, New Jersey, Detroit. I see you. Cut the check. Y'all know what type of time it is. But family, these politicians been having this whole election cycle, and they've been running around speaking to minorities. They've been running around here speaking about people of color, disenfranchised, underserved communities, whatever bullshit word they come up with now. But we've been calling them out, and we've been etching them out one by one by one. So if politicians don't want to see us, we're going to go see them. So I was meeting up with my good brother the other day, you know, and we had this idea that, you know, some people going to be in our neck of the woods. And y'all know if y'all come around foundational Black Americans and y'all come around our way, then we're going to have to see you face to face, eye to eye, and let everybody know. My phone ringing, but we ain't answering it because, like I said, they on our time. So family, me and my good brother, we met up and we had a little meeting with a couple politicians. We had to press them on reparations, but it ended up turning out that it wasn't about the Democrats on the inside of the building. It was all about the foundational Black American freedmen on the outside of the building, okay? They weren't talking about reparations on the inside. They were talking about reparations on the outside. They weren't talking about being true. They weren't talking about being real. They weren't talking about serving the lineage, but we were. And that's the type of time we're on. So without further ado, y'all know this brother. This is our good brother, Marcel, brother. You know, I ain't seen you in a while, you know, on here, but I seen you in person the other day, brother. And, you know, we kind of caused a big rut right now. A lot of people talking about the video that we put out, man, but it was all real and what happened, man. But before we go any further, I know where you broadcasting from, but how you doing, good brother?
I'm doing good. Alpha, how are you?
Lovely, man. You see already today, man, I'm turned up. I'm on the maximum right now. You know, I've been riding this wave since this weekend, family.
Well, let me tell you, I know the feeling because every time after I engage, it doesn't need to become a confrontation unless they make me have to have that energy. But after every time I engage these politicians, these people who are in positions where they can help our people on a systemic level, and I feel they're either not or they could do more and they seem unwilling to do so, it becomes a confrontation. But after that, I always feel that same type of happiness. So I definitely understand.
Brother, you know, you ran up on a couple people. When I say run up on these people, it's running up on them with knowledge, with information, and correcting them intellectually. You know, it's not just wilding out and screaming at people. It's about coming to them and letting them know we are just people. Foundational Black Americans, we are out here trying to really get laws to protect us. We're trying to get tangibles and resources. That Roe versus Wade thing was far more violent than anything. Karen was out there.
Well, look at the Israel versus the Israel-Palestinian protests, okay? No one criticizes these other groups when they are politically active for whatever causes they may have. It's only when we are active do people want to try to criticize us on the most minute thing, but those same people have nothing to say about the 400 to 500 years of severe, despicable, savage violence and injustice we have faced and have not yet seen a penny. So I don't care what anybody has to say about how we advocate.
And that's what I'm loving, brother. The era is changing. You know, you told me something the other day, family. For everybody, you know, who doesn't really know right now, okay? I was checking out some things because we know it's election season. It's election season. We all know it's coming. So we know these folks is going to be making their rounds around the whole goddamn country. They're going to be trying to serve everybody else. If y'all see the backdrop, it's FBA, okay, all day. So I wanted to make it about us. So we knew everybody was going to be coming around and they was going to be coming to a city near us. And if you look, Foundational Black American Freedmen everywhere. You got the brothers and sisters up there in Baltimore, I've seen. Shout out to them. I see the brothers and sisters on the West Coast. It doesn't matter wherever they come. If they step in our territory, we're meeting up with them and seeing. So for everybody who doesn't know, I was checking out some things and finding out what was going on in the area, you know, so I hollered at my good brother, Marcel. Y'all know him well. And Marcel told me basically like, oh, yeah, by the way, you know, they done dusted off Stacey Abrams. They done brought her back from Nigeria. They done swung her all the way over here, and that's a big swing. So they done brought her all the way over. And our good brother told me, he's like, and matter of fact, it's tomorrow. And then we was like, okay, let's coordinate it. Let's meet up. Let's get it in because this is our territory right here. Anybody who comes to the Southeast, you're on foundational Black American soil. And not only that, you are in the motherland of foundational Black Americans, the South.
That's right.
And you dealing with us. And this is a different era and a different time. So me and my good brother met up, man. We met up like that. And then, you know, we were some of the people. But you told me something, family. You said, watch how many people support what we say in the audience and watch that disconnect between them and the Democrats. Tell everybody about it, fam.
Yes, I have told a lot of my people, I feel great, deep frustration with a lot of times how we're not politically active enough, how we are so damn complacent, how we do not demand enough, how we need to be running for office instead of sitting back letting them run us over. However, I have been consistent in saying that when you are out there on the street pounding the pavement, you speak to our people, it's very, very, very rare you will get someone who's against reparations. And even when you meet those who are quote unquote against it, they usually will say things like, I don't know if we're going to spend our money responsibly. That doesn't mean they are against it. They just have some BS concern. Now we know that's BS and no one has the right to pocket watches, but you will really find those of us who are against reparations. And Alpha, you experienced that yourself, especially here in Georgia and South Carolina. You know, people don't realize You're right there in Savannah, Georgia. I was born in Savannah, Georgia. I live over in Jasper County, South Carolina, which is literally, people from Savannah can reach out and touch it. You can literally see it because it's right across the bridge over the Savannah River. And a lot of people from my county here in South Carolina, we have to commute to Savannah every single day for a variety of reasons. My doctors are in Savannah, Georgia. The hospital where I was born is in Savannah, Georgia. A lot of the Dixons moved over from Jasper County, South Carolina, over to Savannah, Georgia. My mother has family in Savannah, Georgia. So that connection, that low country connection is strong. And I just feel people need to be cognizant of that.
Brother, a lot of people was telling us folks, they'd be like, yeah, man, y'all need to go ahead and meet up with this person. Marcel, like, oh, yeah, I know him. I know her too. Yeah, I know that person. They were trying to put you on game, and you was like, nah, I know all of these people, including a good sister who's running for mayor down here in Savannah. You know, her people was out there with way more energy.
Yes, they were. And people need to understand, her name is Keisha Gibson Carter. So if any of you are in Savannah, Georgia, or have other people who you know who are in the city of Savannah, Georgia, I'm throwing my support completely behind Keisha Gibson Carter. Something you need to understand. No one is a bigger raccoon than Mayor Van Johnson. Now, I have seen this man give several speeches. This man refuses to even mention the word black. That's all they can talk about at these speeches. Now, Alpha will get to the little bait and switch they pulled. But the reason he's doing that is because Keisha Gibson Carter, Savannah, the city of Savannah councilwoman, Alicia Blakely Miller, and the two other councilwomen who are on call, there's 4 of them who really be talking about black things specifically for black people, black Americans. They say FBA, you know, the status of FBA, the political status is freedmen, as you know, Tariq always even acknowledges himself, but FBA is the social term. They say that all the time.
Yes, they do.
Okay, and they have been calling him out. Councilwoman Alicia Blakely Miller has had me on her radio station, not once but twice. I was even on there this most recent time, like a couple of weeks ago, with Davey and Cash Gaines. And we have been calling out Mayor Johnson for the fact that Savannah, Georgia is still 52 to 60% black. And yet black Americans are on any given night nearly 90% of those in homeless shelters. Black Americans are 70% of those living in poverty. The vast majority of victims of gun violence. You see, I get how Mayor Van Johnson feels. I'm going to try to not use certain words. I don't want you to get dinged on your video. But I know how he thinks, because all raccoons think the same way. He thinks black people are the problem.
Yeah.
He fails to realize Savannah, Georgia, without black people, there would be no Savannah. So black people are the reason he exists. They're the reason he has a city over which he can be the mayor. They're the reason Savannah, Georgia gets billions and billions of dollars. The River Street, the architecture of Savannah, the food, the culture, all of that was done by the Gullah Geechee people who are still right there, who literally have the last name of a lot of the plantations that were right there in Savannah, Georgia, just like right across the bridge over in South Carolina. Okay? Black Americans, FBA freemen, are not the problem. Okay? We've always been the solution. Okay? We've always been the saviors. Now we're saying we are tired of saving everyone else. It's time for this country to finally save us. And really, they ain't going to be saving us. It's time for them to finally do right by us. I also want to say that black Americans, freemen FBA, are not the problem. The conditions and the violence and injustice that has been inflicted upon us is the problem. And as a person who's a mayor, who has a task force for Hispanics, Asians, LGBTQ, and any other damn group you can think of, for him to do these specifics for all these other groups and ignore the 60% black population of Savannah is unforgivable.
Brother, you were sitting there right there on your phone showing me like, hey, look at this task force for this group.
That's right.
Look at the task force for this group. And then we sit there and see them hit us with the term minority. You seen in the video I posted, dude says minority 6, 7, 8 times. And he doesn't even in his head think that somebody would press him back on it. And as soon as we start pressing him back on it, he starts looking away for security and everything. I'm telling y'all, family, trust and believe. When we went there to speak to any politician that was about it. I don't give a damn if it was Stacey Abrams. I don't give a damn if it was the mayor. I don't give a damn if it's the state senate guy. What was that guy's name again? The state senate dude?
His name is Derek Mallow.
Derek Mallow. I want y'all to put that in because that's going on the G-check list, okay? The G-check list all day, every day. Now, we were speaking to the dude real calm, but if you notice, he was the one disrespectful. He was the one looking off. Body language was low because they're not used to being pressed on simple issues, but those simple issues we're bringing to him in a real regulated fashion, and that's what he didn't like. So we're going to break down him. We're going to break down Stacey Abrams, as I call her, Mammy Luther King, okay? We're going to break down Mammy Luther. All right, Mammy Luther gonna catch that work. We're gonna break down Van Johnson, who's just like Van Jones. I don't know what's up with these black bald-headed Democrats.
Van is not the name you want to name your black child, my people.
They fucking it all up. And one thing I also want to break down, family, is some of the terminologies and everything. This episode, we calling this paying Democratic shills a visit. And you could also say we're paying politicians. I don't give a damn if you Republican, green, lavender, off teal. I don't give a damn what color you rep. If you are not serving us and you hitting us with the word salad, then we're going to pay you a visit. As I said earlier, politicians don't want to see us. Okay, cool. Then we're going to go see them. And that's what's happening all across the country. Y'all see Twitter. Y'all see Instagram. You're seeing it go viral. There's always a brother and sister. I'm seeing brothers and sisters who are literally 70 years old, and they're out here pressing these people. So the energy is strong. That's right. And the energy that we was bringing, brother, is just indicative, once again, of foundational Black American freedmen in this generation holding it down. So I want to break down some of the plays that they're doing. And as we cancel out all these terms, like minority, as we cancel out people of color, and some of the new ones, racial equity, because remember, brother, you was pointing that out to me, dude, was racial equity, equity.
Yep, I caught that. I said the mayor of Savannah, Van Jones, and I could actually almost give him credit for this if he would have actually done something of substance for the black population. I almost want to give him credit because he did start a racial equity task force. Mm-hmm. And in his task force, it acknowledged that black Savannahans are to the bottom of the bottom. His own task force. But then he turns around and pretty much refuses to even acknowledge, as the mayor of Savannah, I do not know the number, y'all, so do not quote me. But he is a part of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. If you are the mayor of a city that's over, I think, 75,000, you can be a part of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Savannah has a population in the immediate downtown area, like 120,000. I don't know.
Yep.
He's a part of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. He's a part of what is one of the blackest cities in the U.S. and has historically been one of the blackest cities in the U.S. He refuses to sign on to that letter in support of reparations. Now, the letter is about H.R. 40, which we all know is complete crap. It doesn't specify those of us who are the black descendants of the people enslaved and emancipated by this country. It doesn't specify direct cash payments. Okay? It's crap. But he could at least still sign on and give support for reparations. He won't do that. And again, he has a task force specific for all these other groups to identify their needs. He's even in the paper bragging about it. The Hispanic community is benefiting, as I showed Alpha. It was an article. The Hispanic community is really benefiting from this task force. He refuses anything from us. So he is a raccoon, and I refuse to give him any credit. He found out how bad we all were off. Just give us a middle finger and say hell with us.
Brother, you pointed it out when we was just talking the other day, and I spoke about it 100 times on this show. They're learning our terminology, and now they're trying to find ways where they can spin our energy. The black grassroots, first off, wasn't even supposed to be here right now. The black grassroots was not supposed to be here. They still want them church folks and everybody. We got rid of all that energy. We got rid of all that. Toss it over there on the corner. They can have a Coke and a smile. Sit the hell down. We brought in that real us first mentality. So now they're trying to, steal our language, our terminologies, our dialogue, and they're trying to flip it back on us. So that's why they're sprinkling in black just a little bit. They'll say freedmen just a little bit. I'm even hearing them say foundational. They throwing foundational around. I never even heard.
Yes, they are. I've noticed that too.
I've
noticed that too. I've noticed them saying foundation. So don't think, y'all. I know people think we're just saying this. Y'all need to stop thinking that, first of all, we do need to get off social media. When I mean that, social media is good. That spreads the message. That helps catch those, when you sift through the soil and you get those golden nuggets, that's social media. But we have to go digging in the soil. I mean, we have to go out there, y'all, and hit the ground. Confront these. I don't want to say confront because that sounds hostile, but if necessary, then so be it. We have to engage these politicians. if we need to run for office or support a candidate that's on coal by getting on their teams or volunteering and getting their ear to run for office. So they are, but don't think they're not listening to us, because I have been hearing them say foundational quite a bit. They may not say foundational Black American, but they sure as heck have been saying foundational, and I've definitely heard them say freedmen.
Oh, yeah. They be like, the foundation of America and the foundation of the past was the foundation of the future. And if the foundation knocks on the door, the foundation is going to answer bullshit. If you ain't saying foundational Black American freedmen and you ain't saying the specific, and that's the beautiful thing, we pressing them on the specifics, on the details, on the nuances. This generation is so damn thorough that we're literally changing the game right in front of everybody's eyes, and I'm loving it. Salute to everybody. Y'all smash that like button. This right here, this energy, we about to crank it all the way up. This episode is going to be pure 100% fire, because now we're going to go down the list and we're going to start breaking down some of these terminologies, and we're also going to break the subtitle down where we are not immigrants. We're not immigrants. We're not minorities. We ain't any of that. We are foundational. We are Black American. We are freedmen. We are certified Black society, and they will address us as such, or we going to pay their ass a visit. Brother, I know you're very familiar with this robbery. It's really, like you said, the second robbery of the Freedmen's Bureau. All right. And this has been going on right now. And I want to tap in and touch in on this one right here, brother, because just as of late, they've been running around sending out Kamala Harris and whoever else they can find so they can try to take our money and things that literally apply to us and hand it away, fam. It's to the point they're not even trying to be sneaky with it. You're literally having a Freedmen's Bureau, a Freedmen's Bank, and they're talking about how Black Americans built this country, but yet they're sliding in every single other group. I'm not even going to say they sliding them in. They just walking them right in. This is the same shit that we've been regulating and gatekeeping. Brother, can you touch down on the history of the Freedmen's Bank and the Freedmen's Bureau from the past? And then I'm going to bring it all the way up to present day and talk about that con that happened just last week, where it was really the All Lives Matter Bureau. Can you break it down, the past, brother, and everything that's going on?
So during the Civil War, the Department of War, which we now call the Department of Defense, they established the Freedmen's Bureau to specifically deal with Black Americans who were formerly enslaved but now emancipated. Okay? That status, because the status of slave went from parent to child, the freedman status had to go from parent to child. They realized that. So the Freedmen's Bureau was an agency of the government that's supposed to provide for all our needs, protect us, make sure we was housed, make sure we was clothed. It was supposed to distribute the 40 acres and a mule, all of those different things. Okay? The Freedmen's Bureau technically still exists. A lot of people don't realize that. They never rescinded it. They never rescinded the Freedmen Acts. They just decided to not fund it. If right now the Congress gave a budget to the Freedmen's Bureau, it will come back just like that. So they never actually rescinded the legislation that established the Freedmen's Bureau. They just simply did not fund it. Another interesting fact is the Freedmen's Bureau was it first started as an executive order. Essentially, the president, Abraham Lincoln, said, this agency of the government, all of y'all focus are going to be on the formerly enslaved and their descendants who will also have the status of freedmen. It was not for all Black people. It was for those who were formerly enslaved. And today, all FBAs / freemen are descendants of those who were enslaved and emancipated by the U.S. government. I am 100,000,000% sure that there are none of us who are descendants of those who were here during the days of the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation that somehow managed to keep free blood flowing through us. I'm positive. The Freedmen's Bank was a little different. The Freedmen's Bank was first established by a man who was formerly enslaved and I believe a man who was a preacher. They pretty much got Congress to charter the Freedmen's Bank, okay? But it was still a private bank. It was supposed to be just for investment purposes. It was mainly for our ancestors who had fought in the Civil War, but other freemen were able to donate into it as well. The bank was just supposed to be for investment, not supposed to be for loans or anything like that. The trustees of the bank who was supposed to be supervised and regulated by the government, but of course they didn't do their job. They started making bad loans. Some of them had other banks, so they started transferring the bad loans, money they gave to mainly corrupt whites who did not have collateral. They would transfer the bad loan to the Freedmen's Bank. Some of them made bad loans to themselves, and of course had no intentions of paying it back. By the time it was discovered, one of the senators tried to save the Freedmen's Bank and asked Frederick Douglass, could he take charge of it? So Frederick Douglass became the new president. And by the time he came across it, he realized it was too far gone and told them, close it down. You're not going to keep defrauding my people anymore. That is what caused severe damage to our people. Psychologically, our people had goals with that money. Okay? It's also one of the reasons why a lot of Black Americans still don't have bank accounts. So I hate when people criticize us. I heard Kevin Hart saying something despicable, calling our people stupid for not having a bank account, instead of him realizing the historical reason. He would never call a white Jewish person who's a Holocaust survivor stupid if they had fears of an oven, for example, or if they had fears of visiting Auschwitz. He will understand there's a cultural reason why that trauma exists. But you see the disrespect they have for us? And I have a personal connection to the Freedmen's Bank, Alpha. I know you're about to get into how they're trying to steal it and make the Freedmen's Bureau and the Freedmen's Bank an all lives matter thing, which is not going to happen. I watch, because only those who are Black descendants of the enslaved and emancipated have the political status of freemen. And that's why I need us. If you don't want to call yourself freeman, fine, don't. But understand, if you are a descendant, a Black descendant of those who were enslaved and emancipated, that's the same as saying the freeman status. You don't have to use the word if it bothers you that much. However, they realize the freeman status is something special. That's why they're trying to steal what's meant for us. And I have a special connection, Alpha. I sent you a link, but may I share my screen and show them something?
Go ahead, brother.
Okay. I have a special connection, as we all do, to the freeman status, but I just want to find something, y'all, and find you that I found paperwork. Okay, wow. I found two, but the one I was able to pull up right here, I want to show y'all something. I'm not sure if it's showing, Alpha. Is it showing?
Got you, brother.
This was back in 2021, because this is not new that I'm trying to steal it. But I said, when Biden tries to steal our unique claim to the Freedmen's Bank, look at what I found. My great grand uncle's bank record, and my great grandfather's file at the first Freedmen's Bank here in Beaufort, South Carolina, y'all. So look, y'all, this is my I think it's 4 times great grand uncle. Okay, Mark Simmons is my great grandfather. Okay, but the person whose record is on this note is Ben Simmons, who was his nephew. I have since discovered, y'all, that my great grandfather's wife, whose name her name leaves me right now, I think was Janie Simmons. She also had an account with the Freedmen's Bank. And the first branch was established right here in Beaufort. I'm in a town called Ridgeland, but Beaufort's 15 minutes away. It was established right here in the Low Country, Alpha, the South Carolina Low Country. This is our heritage and lineage and our status. And I ain't about to let them steal it. And I mean it.
Speak on it, family. That's what you call standing on business right there. That's standing on the lineage. That's what we are on. When it comes, I'm like what Brother Tariq said. He said it the other day. He said, foundational Black American and freemen, they should be used interchangeably. When you're speaking to a politician, when you're speaking in the streets, it's no different than anything. I may call you Greg, I may call you Marcel. You know what I'm saying? It just all depends on the timing. And all that is extra. When these folks is coming and they trying to take from us, they trying to get it from the lineage. And we all know the same lineage, what we talking about. So it's all about us representing and standing on what we are and standing on what we believe. And that's it. So they're doing this all across the board. And family, they're doing it using terms that are all inclusive so they can add everybody in the mix. Foundational Black American, freemen, I say certified Black society, but we all know we talking about the lineage, the people who built this country, okay? Us. We talking about that family tree. You know, I always said, family, I don't give a damn what branch you own. I don't give a damn what side. I don't give a damn where you are. If you are in them 50 states when we put up that roll call and your family goes back just like our brother, just like mine, just like everybody in the chat, then we gonna stand on the lineage and ain't nobody gonna rob it. A lineage robbery and erasure in which they're trying to do is different. I always speak on this, family. This isn't us trying to be freed from slavery. This isn't us trying to reconstruct the country after the Civil War. This isn't us trying to get civil rights. This is us trying to prevent an erasure. So we have all the problems before, and then we have a whole new list of problems. But guess what? This is a whole new generation, and we got time for it. I want y'all to watch this right now. Y'all know that old ass lady. She about 3,097 years old, Maxine Waters. I want y'all to check out this clip real quick. I'm going to play it, brother. And I want to break down the way they use these terminologies, the way they use these words, and they try to spin our lineage out so they could spin all the tethers in. Check this out right here. We're very familiar with what's going on out there on the West Coast, and they got brothers and sisters living in the street. We all know that. But watch how it transitions from when she's speaking about us to the Freedmen's Bank. And I want you to notice how many times she included everybody else's words, everyone else's terminologies, and she left us out. Watch this video. I'm going to slide it back up.
Another location where they're taking F. Is there any more locations than this one? It might have been. There's so many people out here.
1 minute. I want everybody to go home. And I want. We don't got no home. Okay. That's why we here.
Mind you, family, that's where she tells everybody who's homeless in California, I want y'all to go home. You told homeless people to go home. She would never say that to all the Mexicans. She would never say that to everybody who's being brought in the country. But I'm going to flip it and show you the way she speaks to us and the way she spins it back around.
Miss Waters, keep on. We got to go too. That's the moment. That's the moment. Nothing is going to happen anymore today. But what we're going to, well, that's what that's why I'm here. And so I will be downtown with Lasso. I will get the housing authority. That's why they came out here today. I made them come out here. And I'm going to go.
And you need to know why they're failing, because Blanca Jimenez repeated, we gave her several meeting requests for you concerning this in Lhasa for years.
And now there's nobody in Washington who works for their people in harder than I do.
I believe
I don't want to hear that.
I believe you.
Look how they always get tough with us. She's literally talking down to homeless people, homeless foundational Black American freedmen. As soon as they question it on it, she tries to get loud. These Democratic shills only get loud with us. They don't serve us. They neglect us. They ignore us and deny us. And then still got the nerve to turn around and get bucked. She would never get bucked with no other community.
Can we finish though? Work with me.
No.
Work with me so we can house people. That's what I'm doing.
I do every day.
You do every day. I'm filling a damn
the
street.
money that you got
in
in Washington, D.C. I will continue to work. I will get information. There's no more about you today.
They would never know about
for hosting of this forum today. And of course, it is such an honor to be gathered here before you all for today's Treasury's Freedoms Bank Forum and morning's panel entitled Scaling Underserved Businesses Through Capital and Ecosystem Support to discuss the progress that's been made to deliver capital and technical assistance to help underserved businesses connect with customers and market opportunities. As everyone in this room knows, small businesses, including minority and women-owned businesses, are the backbone of our communities. That's why I've worked so hard, both as previous chairwoman of the Financial Services Committee and now as the ranking member, to ensure they're supported. Through Black banks, such as Freedmen's Bank, they were basically established post-Civil War to help formerly enslaved persons navigate their financial lives. These institutions were short-lived. Today, minority depository institutions that are serving descendants of enslaved people are closing at an alarming rapid pace, leaving these communities with less access to banking services. As we all know, Community development financial institutions and minority depository institutions have a long track of basically supporting minority and women-owned businesses. That's why in December 2020, I worked with Senator Warner and other colleagues across the aisle in the House and the Senate to secure an unprecedented $12 billion in capital investments and grants for CDFIs and MDIs like the Opus Bank. And this was to allow them to expand and provide the support that all communities deserve. This includes the small businesses and businesses owned by people of color.
Boom. That part. People of color. I lost track of how many times she said minority. She threw in underdeserved, underserved, underwater, under pressure, everything except for the people. Now, mind you, she's sitting there acknowledging the very fact that we are the ones who built the country, but she's not acknowledging us politically through policies. Fam, speak on that, and not just speak on it, brother. Tell everybody how you got to go ahead and penetrate that and how you got to go ahead and regulate around those terminologies and keep it on key. I got you muted, brother.
First of all, Maxine Waters is doing the quiet part out loud, what this country has always done. Frederick Douglass said, it's the black people's cow, but the white man's milk. So in other words, we build everything, everyone else benefits from it. She's pretty much saying, yeah, this was started for, you freedmen, but we're going to make sure it benefits everyone else. They can specify all these other groups, but when it comes to us, they can never specify us, even when acknowledging it is specifically for us and owed to us. Now, how we need to cut through that, that's why we have to have a status, y'all. Yes, I know we say lineage a lot. The reason I've gotten away from saying lineage is because I realized that they like to conflate lineage, ethnicity, and race all together. So yes, our lineage, if you are a black descendant of a person who was enslaved and emancipated, you are a freeman. We have to have that status. If we don't have that status, they're going to do all their little trick language. Well, we can't do anything for a racial group. That's why we have to say it's going to help the underserved people. They're going to say, well, you saw what happened with affirmative action. It got struck down, so we can't do anything for you. When they try to do that with a status, you have plenty of examples to which you can point. The intern Japanese Americans, that was a status. They didn't get those reparations because they were Japanese. They got it because they were former Japanese internees. Okay? Those who are getting reparations because they were exposed to radiation, they're not getting that because, they just they are white, black, or whatever. They are getting it as people who were formerly exposed to radiation. Some of them are dead, and the reparations is going to their children, and so Joe Biden just renewed that. Native Americans, they don't get reparations because they are Native American. That is a racial identifier. They get it because of their tribal identity, which is a status. Because at any point, the U.S. Congress can rescind a tribe's special recognition, and they have before. We have to have a status, and we have to have a status that they recognize. FBA, as referred to say, is a good social term. But when you get in politics, when you're talking to legislators, you have to use something that has a key word, precedent. One that they can't try to BS around, say, for freemen, what's that? Freeman is a status for which this government has done specific policies for already, and only for the freemen. Okay, we have to tie them down to the fact that you have a status. Again, if you don't want to say freeman, don't go in and have a panic attack. You can at least say the black descendants of those enslaved and emancipated. That is a status. Okay, but freemen, I've talked to legislators plenty here in South Carolina and in other states. Not once have I ever been asked what's a freeman, because they all know, and I have no reason to lie. Number two, I could almost be disappointed in Maxine Waters. I'm not, because I expect it, but I could almost be disappointed in her because during the days of the crime bill, It was she and John Conyers were the only two who voted against it. And she said, instead of spending a bunch of money to lock black people up, she said, how about spend the money to do something about the conditions under which a lot of black people have to live? She didn't say the word reparations, but she was just a few steps from doing there. Sorry, it's a shame how she just sold out and become another corporate suit. But here's number 3. Why I'm disgusted by Maxine Waters. She knows the freedman status. She told the Native Americans who were discriminated against, the black Native American freedmen, she said, let me tell you something. If I find out that y'all discriminated against the freedmen, she told these Native Americans, these little anti-black bigots in these Native American tribes, she said, I'll take every penny from you. You see, Congress could take that status from them at any point and they lose their money. So now, as we see, some of our black Native American brothers and sisters who are freemen are getting what they are owed. They held on to that status. They're not saying, oh, I don't want to call myself freeman. They hold on to that freeman status. They even have their tribal cards that will say freeman on it. They hold on to their status. It's the same thing we need to do. So Maxine Waters knows the freeman identity. She knows the freeman status. It's nothing but cowardice. Because I don't really think Maxine Waters hates her own people. It's cowardice. It's cowardice why she's not fighting for us. And she ought to be ashamed. And if she's not going to fight for us, go retire and go to hell on somewhere.
Get to running. That's the thing, family. It always goes back down to that. We already know. And if you
exactly, I'm sorry. Exactly, Tilo Brown. Maxine Waters is not dumb. She's playing games. I completely agree. That's exactly what she's doing. Playing games.
All of them are very intelligent people. But if you intelligent and you ain't got no soul and you ain't got no heart, then that intelligence means nothing. It's inconsequential. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of these people, the way they got to come up with these elaborate plots to try to steal from foundational black Americans, I would say this. These people lack in a lot of areas, but one area where they do not lack is either thieving off of us or leeching off us. You got these folks to come over here and they can't even speak English, but they know damn well how to come up with terms where they can jump on our back.
And now to say slurs to degrade us.
Yes.
On that note, Max, you know what's funny? Look at the Republicans and the Democrats. All of them have gotten together. They're in you. It's completely unanimous. They're sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. It's about to go into the trillions with Ukraine. Israel, Palestine. The Pentagon has failed, at least as of some months ago. The Pentagon failed their 5th or 6th audit. They cannot account for $9 to $21 trillion. Y'all, they could have had almost half of our reparations paid already with that amount of money. And this country will benefit from it because we will spend our money. We built Black Wall Street from nothing. I hate when people say we're not the same people. Shut the hell up. We are not the same people. We're not our ancestors. We're actually better than our ancestors because they will want us to be better than them. And we've actually continued to fight and survive in this crooked system. And this country hasn't gotten any nicer to us. They didn't get nicer. We just got more. We just had more victories underneath our belt. I will also say it's really trillions of dollars when you count all the money that states and municipal and the federal government has spent on taking care of housing and feeding and clothing and doing all these programs for these illegal immigrants.
Every single day, family. And people know that the more we get on code, the more they start getting off track. So what they're doing now, they're trying to get a whole new era, a whole new generation of these sellouts, these bootlicks, these turns, these puppets, these minions, and they're bringing them on. Me and you had a little, conversation with one of them. It's a state senator down here, and I want to show everybody this video, and I want y'all to notice. This guy uses the same terminology that Maxine Waters does. He uses every single other term other than the ones that actually apply to us. I'm going to show you. I'm going to speed it up a little bit, and I got to break it in halfway because music's playing in the background. But I want y'all to notice right here, family, the man starts off. Mind you, Marcel simply brings up to him reparations and how everybody else. It's very simple. It's yes or no. Okay, it's yes or no, A or B. There ain't Z, J, Y, X, none of that. Either you are for or you're against reparation. I don't need to hear all that talk about minorities. I don't need to hear about racial equity. I don't need none of that. If somebody gives you the long answer on reparations, they're not for reparations, okay? The further they get from actually being clear and direct, the more they are non-supporters. I want y'all to notice how many times minority gets brought up by this guy and how he was trying to pivot us away from what we're really on. And if you notice, family, this is the type of game that they always run on us. And it's all based upon them trying to trick us by words, languages, and labels. We've gotten rid of the labels, and now we're sticking to real ones that identify as us. So now they don't know what to do. They don't know where to go, and they hide it. I'm going to play y'all the audio now once the music stops. But I want y'all to know right here, Marcel is pressing them on reparations in a very clear way. Okay, there's nothing need to be said. Marcel speaking on reparations, how everybody else got reparations, and it was easy. The man starts off out the gate talking about minority plan this, minority plan that. They coming up with new words. They're making them up, family. This is how they do exactly. Splaining. He's doing a whole bunch of Democratic shills splaining because that's all they got. They ain't got nothing solid. Right there already, in 50 seconds, he already said minority number one. Then he starts talking about minority number two, and he starts getting upset now. This is the part where he starts getting upset.
When we look at task force,
he knew
right here
that he had nothing to stand on. So the thing they always do whenever they have nothing to stand on, they start running con games. But we don't go for that.
It's LGBT. Immigrants are for immigrants.
But I want y'all to notice this right here, family. Notice how when I start pressing them, I'm asking them about LGBTQ got a task force. I seen it. Hispanics got one. I seen it. Legals, people who aren't even American got it. I seen it. And then look right here how he starts giving me the okie doke.
That includes Asians and all that stuff.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
in general, whenever that is classified as a minority in this country, you know what I'm saying? So when you use it, it goes the same way.
Specifically on us, especially those of us who are descendants of the enslaved and emancipated. Because that way we have a special history and we need the special attention and policies too.
Absolutely. Right.
He getting nervous. That's when he started looking. He getting nervous.
Right. We've had multiple conversations about it, but let me go back to what I was saying. When you talk about less than 1% of state contracts going to minority businesses, that's a travesty in itself.
Yes, that's number four.
What I'm saying is, in order to address the plight, especially for African Americans, and showing a disparity that is 1% for everybody, that should even show a much more hard and lasered in focus that we haven't even done the right thing by Black Jordans, right? So that's a big issue. So now when we look at that issue and we figure out a way to systematically move the ball forward, that's where we get to the conversations that we need to have to hold the state government accountable.
Now, family, I want y'all to notice. First off, he's using the same Democratic talking points. He's going over and over again, and he's not saying anything. But I really want y'all to notice this right here. Notice how he starts saying everybody and everything. But his logic is this. And Marcel, I want you to break this down, family. I already know what you're going to say, but this type of logic where if we focus on disparities, I want everybody to notice that term disparities. They love that damn term. They say if we focus on disparities amongst everybody, then some magical way that's going to make everybody come and save Black Americans because we're at the bottom of those disparities. So in the system of supremacy, where all of those groups that have those disparities and those gaps between us because the government elevates them above us, the disparities exist for a reason, all right? Don't tell me disparity and don't mention supremacy. Don't say disparity and mention benign neglect, okay? If you do not bring them up with disparities, that's it. You can't bring up all the symptoms of supremacy and not actually talk about the root cause. So under his bullshit logic, and he don't even believe it himself, he's just trying to run game, and I ain't here to play today. He's trying to tell us if they focus on all of the disparities in why we're at the bottom by bringing up Hispanics and bringing up illegals, then somehow people are going to say, well, you know, yeah, Blacks are at the bottom of that. Maybe we could come help them. Tell everybody, one, why that doesn't work, and two, how those other groups that he's lumping us in with are anti-Black themselves. And I know because you've been to South America before, and you know how people who look like this are treated down there. So they don't get magically friendly when they cross that border. Tell everybody the bullshit logic in that family and all the things that he said and how foul and wrong it was.
Sure don't. I've been to several countries in Latin America, to countries that have large Black populations like Brazil and Colombia, okay? And Haiti is really Latin America. Yep. And of course, when I was in Haiti, they made it clear how anti-Black the Dominicans were, okay? So,
go ahead, brother. You good?
Okay. They made it clear how anti-Black the Dominicans were, who don't even want to call themselves Black. And you got a lot of these old anti-Black Dominican accounts on Twitter who go around trying to show you these white-skinned Dominicans, trying to make it seem like that's how they all look. When I was down in the Dominican Republic, there was plenty of Dominicans over in Haiti. They always say Haitians are in the Dominican Republic. Plenty of Dominicans are in Haiti. And most of them, if they were in America, I'm not going to say they would be mistaken for freemen, but they would definitely be classified as Black right away. But I do want to say this. First of all, It doesn't work. I told them this. Every time they try to do these programs that are supposed to address disparities, and then they say that Black Americans are disproportionately to the bottom, disproportionately hurt, so it's going to disproportionately benefit us. It has never worked. I always say to them, if that works, look at the hospitals. Technically, all of us can go to any hospital we want to, right? And yet, hospitals are supposed to provide care to everyone, and yet who gets the worst care? In these public hospitals that are for everyone? We do. Who has the highest level of child mortality rates? Black women do, and Black American women. Who gets the least pain relief when they are really in need of it? Black Americans do. So if Black Americans being disproportionately impacted by a problem will result in us disproportionately benefiting, we should be getting top-notch care in these hospitals because we suffer from being in toxic environments filled with lead and all type of other carcinogenics. We would be getting the best care, being that Black women have the highest child mortality rate. We don't see that happening. Look at public schools, okay?
Yep.
Black Americans have been denied violently and viciously a right to an education. And we come from communities where education is highly valued, but we also sometimes have the most underfunded schools. If they were saying that because we are disproportionately hurt the most, we would disproportionately benefit, then why are our schools usually still the most underfunded, the most troubled, and the most neglected? That never works, never has. And we can already see what happened with affirmative action. It was meant for us. They made it some big diversity program. I can't stand that Vivek Ramaswamy, whatever the hell his name is. But even that bastard said that affirmative action is not benefiting the descendants of the people who were enslaved in America like it was meant to. So even an anti-Black bigot like him recognized that affirmative action was meant for us, and even an anti-Black bigot like him recognizes that it's benefiting everyone but us. So that never works. Second of all, I want to call out something that you weren't able to play in the clip. When I first mentioned to him, he was like, the governor of Georgia is a Republican. The Speaker of the House is a Republican. The Speaker of the Senate is a Republican, so you need to put pressure on them. Remember he tried that? Yep, I said, hold on. There are plenty of Democratic-controlled states where Black Americans are to the bottom and falling further to the bottom. I said, it's funny you say what you say. Savannah, Georgia is a Democratic-controlled city. And Black Americans are to the bottom in a city where they are the majority. So you can't sit there and make it seem like Democrat equals Black progress, because that is not what the data shows. I said this to him. He had nothing to say. Then he started getting kind of agitated and flustered. And of course, you and I didn't give a damn. We were still pressing him like we didn't even notice. But my thing is this. He didn't seem to have an issue with those white liberals there holding up that Palestine, free Palestine, Israel sign. Matter of fact, I didn't see him engage with them, but nobody seemed to be hawking them like they were hawking us. They think everyone has the right to advocate for themselves except us in a country we built, in a country for which we fought, in a country where we have over now tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of inventions, a lot of them that have modernized the world, and yet that has done wrong to us. Even sometimes the most, well, I'm not going to say the most, even a lot of bigots will acknowledge that America has done Black Americans wrong. Even a lot of white people who don't support reparations will still say, yeah, I know America has really done y'all really, really bad. Because let me tell you, like James Baldwin said, there's one thing white people know is, I'm not going to say they don't want to be Black, but they will never want to be treated the way they know Black people are treated. We are owed the most by this country, and they think we deserve the least, and we're supposed to say nothing. That's going to stop. So I'm glad that you and I held our ground. We didn't really give a rat's you know what. If he was getting agitated, we kept pressing him and will not let him get us with the talking points.
Brother, I feel that they threw him in there because they tell everybody how quick they got Stacey Abrams out of there.
Yes. Okay.
You called it, brother.
We walked in, and Stacey Abrams is no amateur. She knows how to save face. She has a good poker face. But I could have sworn Stacey Abrams kind of looked at us real quick when we walked in, and she was like, oh, hell no. That's Marcel. That's the guy that ran for Warnock. Anyway, Stacey Abrams gave her little generic, we must vote. And she kind of threw I'm a Black woman speech. And Stacey Abrams didn't seem like she was into it at all. The moment Van Johnson, the mayor of Savannah, was like in the last 5 minutes of his speech, maybe the last 2, Stacey Abrams, they shuffled her out of there. And she had an old entourage surrounding her. I really want to speak to Stacey Abrams. One, I know Stacey Abrams has not been for us, y'all. But I have to be honest, when it comes to reparations, she never speaks against it. If we can get Stacey Abrams on record, because Stacey Abrams not dumb either. Like Maxine Waters ain't stupid. Stacey Abrams knows if you try to do something based on race, it will not fly. She knows that. That's why she has never once said it should be based on race. She knows that it has to be based on lineage. If I could get her to acknowledge that, that would have done wonders for our movement. We couldn't get they got Stacey Abrams out of there. I ain't never seen Stacey Abrams move so fast in my life. Y'all, when we got outside, Stacey Abrams was gone. It was like no trace of her being there. But Alfred, you should tell them though, that congressman, whatever, I mean, the state senator for Georgia, whatever, about our people that we spoke with outside of the building and how we spoke with some of our beautiful FBA Freedmen family and how a lot of them, and I told Alfred this happens all the time, they was like, I love what you guys are doing. You brothers keep it up. And when we say you for reparations, they said, hell yes, of course.
Yes,
Not one person said no. The men and the women. The only guy who was about to get some cool answer, I think he realized you and I was on that energy, was the guy who gave you the number to the other guy. He never said yes. He was like, well, that's complicated. And I said, what's complicated about it? And he never gave the answer. He's like, y'all need to speak with this guy. And he probably, 2 things. He was probably not Freedman, FBA.
Yeah.
Or because you do have some of them in our area. It's not like they aren't here. It's a few. Or
right.
Number 2, he knows of us, or maybe of me, or he thinks we're ADOS. Because sometimes I've heard people say, see, you ADOS people, and they know that we are about lineage. And they can't shoehorn Africans and Caribbeans in. He's either very Pan-African. The guy whose number he gave you, Amari Torre, is an extreme Pan-African. And they probably think that our reparations is supposed to go to the whole black world. But they're not saying that to CARICOM. They're not saying that the people in Namibia, the Nama and the Erore tribe, who got reparations for what Germany is doing to them. And check this out. In Namibia, the reparations went to the government, and now the Herero and the Nama tribe are saying to the government, give us our damn money. Y'all don't have the right to spend that. We went through the wrong. They don't say anything to these other groups. The people in the Congo now are saying to Belgium, hey, pay up. They don't ever say to them, include everyone. They only want to tell Black Americans that we have to include everybody. And that type of paternalism is going to stop. That pisses me off.
That right there, family. See, and I noticed that
talking down to us.
They want us everywhere other than here. They don't want our minds, our bodies, our souls right here. They want to get us all the way out the pain. Notice, fam, I didn't even notice till later that big ass, just like the movie where the field Negroes is out there doing their thing, and then they bring in the big old goddamn buck that he was staring over my shoulder. Matter of fact, I got it right here, family. I want y'all to see as dude keep looking off to the side, and he got his little personal security over there too. Marcel noticed it real quick. Dude comes over top of us. He's looking over in that direction for a reason, family. He's looking away for an absolute reason. And that reason, fam, is because he's seen that we was pressing him and he was running out of con game answers. Now watch the way how he starts looking away and he starts trying to, gasp for answers and questions. He goes and gets him the biggest buck police guard that he could find. And he got his little Toby on the side right there, and him and Toby was sitting there watching us. And this is how it all ended as we kept pressing him. He kept saying minority, reject. He kept saying people of color, reject. Racial equity, reject. All we stood on was lineage and business. And watch how he ain't had nothing else to say about it.
We need the special attention and policies too.
Absolutely.
Right. There you go looking again. That's number 2.
Right. We've had multiple conversations about it, but let me go back to what I was saying. When you talk about less than 1% of state contracts going to minority businesses, that's a travesty in itself.
Yes.
And so what I'm saying is, in order to address the plight, especially for African Americans, and showing a disparity that is 1% for everybody, that should even show a much more hard and lasered-in focus that we haven't even done the right thing by Black Jordans, right? So that's a big issue. So now when we look at that issue and we figure out a way to systematically move the ball forward, that's what we get to the conversations that we need to have to hold the state government accountable.
He waiting on that buck to come save him. He bucking his eyes, waiting on the buck.
Move it from where it is, where it needs to be, step by step, inch by inch, mile by mile. This is a marathon and it's not a sprint.
Let me ask you a question though. Do you feel that being lineage specific actually moves that needle further, because the more we are
Look at that big old slave. Look at a big old slave.
Because the more we are lumped in with other groups, the more that slows us down. Because when you look at other groups, they get it straightforward and they don't
agrees with
us in it. You know what I mean? So when you start talking about minorities, you got to be careful with that term. Because when you talk about minorities, that means that everybody's coming along. But whenever they get something specifically, it's just for them.
No,
you know what I mean? So I'm just saying in general, from a political level, doesn't that make more sense, right?
If you look at anything,
and it takes politicians to kind of, push that forward, right?
When you look at anything I've noticed and directly specific to the issue that we face as Black Georgians.
Yes, sir.
You talk about the map, so
right.
You can go and I put it out. This is directly on the backs of African Americans in the state of Georgia that we're even having this conversation.
Right.
Impacted from Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act.
He's signaling massa.
So absolutely, it's I'm one voice, one person.
No, much respect.
But you got our support too.
But it's not a sprint.
Especially what happened with Sapelo Island, like the Gullah Geechee people.
And there we go, family. This is what happens.
I knew they were shuffle. I knew you were gonna see.
Yeah,
she's too fast.
Here comes the security guard. Right there, family. That's what it was. Now, mind you, look at the way we were speaking. Look at the way we was conducting ourselves. And look how nervous and jittery he was getting. Because nothing at all was going to stand in the way of what we were speaking, brother. Go ahead, fam.
And y'all, during this whole time, there was a whole damn caravan of Free Palestine, Stop Israel, white liberals there. No one batted an eyelid at them. The people that they seem to be most cautious of, or they wanted to be the most vigilant with, were us advocating for our people. Now, I do want to say this. We finally got him to say, oh, yes, it has to be specific towards the end, because he realized, I don't know if he just said, guys, he realized we weren't taking nothing else. I also want to say that when we got outside, and we were able to speak with some people who were running for office. We was able to speak with some the people who are on the Savannah City Council. We was able to speak with 3 of them. And I told them, I said, Hilton Head Island used to be 90% Black, now it's 90% non-Black. And the article just came out about how Hispanic is the face of Hilton Head Island. I said, I don't want to see Savannah, Georgia happen. That's not going to happen in Savannah, Georgia. Not on my watch. It was like, oh, no, it ain't going to happen in Savannah, Georgia. So we was letting them know. We on the federal, which is the reparations, but we also talk about this local too. So y'all, we need to be advocating every single place where we go. Now, of course, they tried to pull some BS, talk in terms. But look, I also want to say, when I confront or engage these people in office, people, the raccoons and the raccoonettes are going to say whatever they want to say. I could care less. But some people, I say, oh, Marcel be turning up on them. No, I don't. I go to them to say, as officer, I go to them, standing my ground, but being very professional. They are the ones that start getting agitated. They are the ones that start bringing their energy. And when they bring their energy, I give it back. That's what's happening. You're going to get back that energy you bring in. First of all, you work for me. I don't care if you are a state congressman or woman in Idaho. You are still a part of this government. Okay? You are an elected official. You should expect to be questioned. And when someone comes to you with respect and professionalism, you are going to get that in return. If you get agitated because I'm advocating for my people, then all I can say is prepare to be a hell of a lot more agitated, because I'm going to keep damn doing it. And when I see you getting agitated, I'm going to do it even more forcefully. Now,
that type of energy. Family, I'm going to play this for everybody because, I did catch it, brother. I want y'all to notice the energy. Look at the difference between the type of time we're on the inside and the outside. It's different. Inside, tap dancing. Outside, thorough. We did meet with some real people, and we want to know what was really going on in the streets. We want to show everybody that the Black grassroots is really running stuff. We regulated him. Stacey Abrams rolled the hell out. Van Johnson, nobody.
Went ahead.
All the way, brother. Go ahead.
He went ahead.
Ran. They all ran. So basically, in essence, it took 2 people from the lineage to step in the building and then run out all the bad energy. And once you run out all the bad energy, what's left is good, positive energy.
Let me say this real quick. Van Johnson went to some little private room, I guess, have some little private gathering, but he was just talking about how he's for the people. But the moment you had the opportunity to engage people, you went running off. Coward and raccoon. Okay.
Hey, and like you said, bro, all the regular people was on the other side. On his side,
that's
where
right.
he was at, no energy at all.
That's right. Keisha Gibson Carter, y'all, look her up. Her people were about it. And that's why they got on talk about black people. But yeah, Alf, you go ahead and play the other video. Sorry.
This is the real energy right here. And watch how me and my brother was out there, boots on the ground, putting in real work. And this is it, family. We're going to take reparations to the streets. That's what it's going to be. We're going to take tangibles to the streets. They do not want to come see us. We will go see them. We're going to pay them a visit. And what I'm realizing is that if you got the right voice and you got the right type of time and energy and you speak to the right people, we can shift all of that old, outdated energy and bring in that new energy. And look right here, the way it all played out. This was the way it went down, and this is the way it's going to stay down. We're going to bring reparations and tangibles to everybody out there. Out with the old and
let's see what's really, really going on with foundational Black American freedmen and reparations, family. So y'all stay tuned.
Stacey Abrams mentioned a lot about Black Americans, the descendants of the enslaved and emancipated, freedom. The problem I have with Van, I want to ask him about, is that he did a task force specifically for Hispanics, specifically for Asians, specifically LGBTQ. Savannah's majority Black, still one of those nice deep southern cities. And the poverty rate on any given night, 90%. On any given night, the poverty, the homeless shelter in Savannah is 90% Black. The poverty rate in Savannah is 60-something% Black. And the rate of poverty in Savannah, like households.
Businesses to keep everybody safe. And now 2022 is the best year ever in Savannah economically. And now 2023 will be the best year in Savannah economically.
He's scared. He's still scared.
Unity comes in numbers.
It comes in numbers. Yes, it does.
And the unity comes in numbers really because we all come together and know how powerful we are.
Exactly. That's what I'm
The
saying.
lack of knowledge has destroyed this. Just like what they're trying to do out here. One, don't want this one to run. They're going to put out all these black marks on the people and stuff like that, and saying lies and stuff like that. And then you know what? The elephant in the room is what is there.
Yes, it is.
And that's what we fall for, the okadoke.
But let me say, you made a good point. When illegal immigrants are homeless, they get trillions, if you add it all up throughout the years, housing, food, education, transportation, medicine.
I appreciate every time.
Every attitude.
Excuse me.
Right there. That's what you was talking about. Ain't that what you was saying, brother?
Yep, the caravan, as I call them, because they will just walk in with the signs everywhere.
Look at that, y'all. And look how many of them are coming. Watch it. Follow it across. All of those people.
Exactly.
Nobody said nothing to them, though. They didn't call security on them. But we was out there meeting with the
Pat Gunn. Pat Gunn. Okay, thank you.
And everything you see going on is all about us. When we were little children, we were prophesying unbeknowingly.
Right.
When you wanted to play basketball and had to sit down and wait, what would you say?
Oh man, let's go.
You would say, "I got next."
I got next.
My down.
Yep. It's my turn coming up. Right.
Little girl went to play kickball.
Mhm.
She would say, "It's my next."
It's my next. Yep. That was it. Yep. That was it.
In rulership, you got next in rulership.
Brother, I got your paper right here. Okay. I'm gonna lock you in, man. I appreciate the knowledge. Take care of yourself.
I've been asking everybody here, as well as other places, do you support reparations and form of cash payments for our lineage, Black American people who are from the stories in America? You support them? No, definitely.
That's a
Brother, now let me say this to y'all. This right here, these are my favorite people in the world.
Yes.
If they ever watch this, salute to y'all. Y'all know when they say black don't crack, okay? When they be like,
right.
they say black women be 40, 50 years old and looking like they in their 20s, family. These people were so nice. These ladies were so sweet. They were so solid, man. That we actually talked to them a couple seconds later, you know what I mean, off camera, and they were telling us how proud they were of us. I'm going to play you this, and this right here was pretty much the cap on, and I saved this for the last, family.
Black Americans, Foundation, Black American Freedom, you guys okay, I'm very familiar with that. You guys support reparations for us, you know, Japanese got reparations, Israelis got reparations, but things that didn't even happen here in America. Then you could also say that Ukraine, technically right, illegal immigrants, but you support reparations for all people.
Yes, I got 2 yeses and 1 second.
I told you, nobody gonna say no here.
That's why I was telling Alpha, you really wanted to know.
Oh yes.
Hey, you said it, brother. You said it. You said it. You said it. You said it.
And they
that
said
right
they were
there.
in their 70s. I couldn't believe it.
Hey, she was like, my people
said
go back.
something. It was way older than what I thought. I'll put it like that.
Facts. Facts. And that right there, that was another yes. So everybody we asked about reparations said they supported reparations. And I didn't give them no elongated stuff. I was clear. I didn't try to swam or nothing like that. I was like, hey, do you support reparations for our people built the country? And it's simple. The math, very easy. If, like Malcolm X said, you make it plain, we made it plain. And they gave us yeses all the way across the board. So as you told me, brother, you said, watch the difference between the inside tap dancing and the outside certified. And we saw
that's why we got to get those of us on the outside, on the inside, where the power really lies. But Alpha, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed. Y'all, we got to, like I said, get those of us on the outside who are on call on the inside, and get those on the inside, throw them the hell out. Do it now. And we got to just keep taking this message to our people out there. Yes, one of them hurricanes said they were definitely in the 70s something, but the two were definitely up in age, but you could not tell. I was shocked when I heard the age. That's how I remember it being way older than what I thought. I should have known better though, because I know we are like, if it wasn't for anti-black racism, or I call it now anti-black FBA Freeman hate, we'll be damn near immortal. But Alpha, you take care, okay?
Stay good, brother. I'm gonna tap in with you.
All right.
Certified family. Okay, let's go. Fam, this is what it was. That was the breakdown of everything that went on. Okay, that's the way it played out over the weekend. Everything that I was saying we was going to do, we did it. I said that we was going to tap in. I said we was going to go. I said we was going to blitz them. That's what it is. We going to continuously pay them all in attention. So if they want to come and dance around us, then we going to go see them. That's it. This is our country. Okay, I don't know how you think you're going to hide from FBA in foundational Black America. So salute to our brother Marcel for that. We tapped in, and we're going to continue to press any politician, as well as the brothers and sisters in the chat all over the country. That's some type of time that we're on right now. The time is now. You've never seen another generation of brothers and sisters out here really pressing politicians like that. You ain't seen it. I don't remember this during the Obama era. I don't remember this with the Yes We Can. This is the era where I see brothers and sisters really out here and getting in these people's face, and that's the way we're going to get everything we got to get, and that's the way we're going to continue to do it. But family, y'all know this Black Alpha time, all right? Certified salute to everybody in the chat. Certified salute to my brother Marcel, and we're going to continue to push. But you know we got the G-check, and we got to regulate, because it don't just stop with them people right there. There's a whole gang of more people that is on that G-check list, and we about to do some serious G-checking right here, right now, because that's the way we operate and that's the way we move. So speaking of G-checking and regulating, family, there's a couple people that's been out here cosplaying foundational Black Americans, saying that they're us, acting like they down, but they really not. And we know exactly who every last one of those people are. And I love to regulate. I love to roast. And those people going to get that G-check right now. It don't stop. Smash that like button, subscribe to the Black Alpha Network. We building, we working, we shining, we grinding. We did over 1,000 new subscribers in 2 weeks. That's history. And we're going to continue to do it. We got a lot more lined up. And you're going to see Black Alpha really out here in the streets. But I'm going to bring the family with me. Because like I said, everything I do, I try to do it and represent y'all to the fullest. And when y'all give me that certified energy and I give y'all that certified energy, there ain't nothing left but to roll on them. And that's what we're going to do. Family, look at this person right here. As we talk about people tap dancing and break dancing all over the goddamn place. Y'all familiar with that butter biscuit chaser right there? I mean, all he does is chase butter biscuits, right? That's all he do. I'm proud of y'all too, man. I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate everybody. Let's G-check and regulate, family. All right. I want y'all to notice that that same butter biscuit tap dancing person who always talks down on reparations for foundational Black Americans, I want y'all to notice how he starts bigging up somebody else who's trying to get reparations. I want you to notice how they use the term minority. I want you to notice how they try to use all these other words so they can get it off of foundational Black Americans. Turn up the volume. It is regulate season. Let's break it down. G-check to the thorough. We here all goddamn night. Let's go.
Rich.
Watch this right here, family. Watch the way he tries to run gun.
But there was a time when Black Latinos were forcibly removed from their homes in the heart of Palm Springs, the 1950s and the 1960s. Now they and their descendants are suing for billions. We're joined right now by attorney Ariva Martin, who is involved in this case. Ariva, for folks who don't understand Section 14, what this area is, so just explain, just set this whole thing up, this particular lawsuit, and what these African American Latinos are actually saying.
Right. So Section 14 is a 1 square mile area in downtown Palm Springs, California. It's finally called Section 14. It actually is a plot of land that was owned by the Agua Caliente indigenous tribe. And as Blacks and Latinos were moving into Palm Springs in the 1940s and 1950s, many Blacks escaping the South, thought they were escaping Jim Crowism, moving to California, looking to find the American dream, looking to build homes, to build generational wealth, to really provide a bright future for their families. They realized that California wasn't very different in many ways than the South. And there were racially restrictive covenants that prevented Blacks from living on streets where whites live. There were banking and financial restrictions that prevented Blacks from getting loans for cars and for homes. And the indigenous tribe was the only group of people who were willing to allow African Americans and Latinos to live on their land. So Black folks built.
Look how many times they've already said African Americans and Latinos, okay? Look how many times they're trying to use other words other than us. As she sits there and she describes that we built everything, she's still trying to insert these buffer class.
A community on this plot of land, 646 acres, 1 square mile, finally referred to as Section 14. They built homes, they built churches, they built businesses, they built a thriving community. And this is while they are working to help Palm Springs become this exotic getaway in the desert. They were working as cooks and nannies and maids and chauffeurs and carpenters and builders as Palm Springs was building itself up to cater to the likes of Gene Autry, Frank Sinatra, Lucille Ball, and some of the biggest names in Hollywood in the 50s and 60s. But they had a problem. Despite wanting this free labor, despite wanting these African American and Latino families to provide these services, they did not want these families to be in the heart of downtown Palm Springs. They wanted them, they wanted their labor, but they wanted them out of sight. So the city basically hatched a plan to remove the families from this community. And they didn't use eminent domain. They didn't use a legal process. They used sheer might, sheer force. They demolished using bulldozers, the home. And then they used the city's fire department to set the homes on fire. So they upended this very vibrant Black and brown community, and they buried the secret essentially for 60 years. And now these families have found their voices, and they're speaking out, and they're demanding not only an apology, which was issued, but they're demanding that they receive some kind of reparative justice.
Pause.
Got it. Look at the way Holden Martin flip-flops when he's talking about another community. When he starts talking about another community, then all of a sudden he's supportive. Notice how they sit there and describe foundational Black Americans, but yet they try to put everybody else in. This is why we have to gatekeep. This is why we got a G-check, family. These people are coming over to our country every single day from all over the world, and every time they get here, they want to take what's ours. Did y'all see what's going on at the border, family? Okay, when we say at the border, they're bringing in everybody from everywhere. When we say that when you speak of immigration, it's an open invitation. Family, look at this right here and tell me that we are the same.
New York. Thank you, sir. You? Senegal. Where are you going? Thank you. Where are you from? Senegal. Where are you going? North Carolina. Thank you, sir. You? Where are you from? Senegalese. Where are you going? Thank you, sir. Where are you from? Where are you going? Senegal. Thank you. Where are you going? New York. From where? Yeah. Senegal? Thank you. Where are you from? From Senegal. Where are you going? Columbus. Columbus, Ohio. Thank you, sir. And you? Where are you going?
Family, listen to what's happening. These folks is coming to a lot of the cities that we are in right now in this chat. This ain't just New York. This ain't just LA. These folks is talking about, I'm going to Kentucky, I'm going to Ohio, I'm going to Alabama. These folks are going everywhere. Do not tell me that they're not trying to insert these folks into our community. This is why we delineate, we separate, we regulate. That's the only thing left, fam. We got to pay these politicians a visit and let them know we ain't on that type of time. The same way me and Marcel regulated that state senator clown is the same way we got to continue to regulate anybody who's trying to put out this open invitation. Immigration just means trying to replace foundational Black Americans. Watch this right here, family. Just a few seconds in, and you done damn near heard the whole map. They done already said about 20 cities. Watch as this goes along, how many of these people are coming to a city near you, and they ain't coming to be friends.
Columbus, thank you. Where are you from?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
New York.
Sir, and you?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
New York.
Thank you, sir. You? Where are you going?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Where are you? Where are you from?
Senegal.
Oh my God. Where are you going?
New York.
New York. You?
Gambia.
Gambia?
Yeah.
You're lying.
Yeah.
You're lying. Is he from Gambia?
Yeah.
Okay. You're going where?
New York.
Thank you. You?
Senegal.
Senegal. Where are you going?
New York.
Thank you. You?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
Los Angeles.
Oh, smart man.
Joe Biden.
Oh, what do you say to Joe Biden?
Joe Biden is the American president.
You like him?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Joe Biden is good.
You Joe Biden's good?
Yeah.
Or no Trump?
No.
Where they get the cell phone from? Where they get the cell phone, family? Who paying your cell phone bill? Who paying it? Somebody let me know.
President.
You like him?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Joe Biden is good.
You Joe Biden's good?
Yeah.
Or no Trump?
No.
Trump or Biden?
No.
No, neither. Okay. You?
Senegal.
Huh?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Thank you, sir. You speak good English. How you doing?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Senegal.
Where are you going, sir?
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Thank you, sir. How you doing? Where are you from? Huh?
Senegal.
Senegal. And where are you going, sir? I know, but where are you going?
New York.
This man said he's from the Senegal and he's going to the Senegal, but he's in America. Man, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know if they're going or coming.
New York.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. You're from Senegal too?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Where are you from?
Senegal.
Senegal. Where are you going?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. You?
Family, let me ask y'all a question. Ain't Akon from the Senegal? If I'm not mistaken, Akon is from the Senegal. Ain't Akon the main one always telling us that we need to go back to Africa? It looked like they're all trying to come here. That's what it looked like to me. And this is what we're talking about. Whenever we break it down, family, and we say these folks is coming, look at that. Now, who's providing these folks all the transportation? Interpreters. I've actually seen at some of these immigrant posts, they're being followed with interpreters. Who's giving it to them? The scooters, the bikes, what they ride around. Who's providing all of that for these folks, family? Exactly. So, yes, okay, he is from it. Okay, so you got a guy who's telling us that we need to go back over there, and all his people are coming over here. The reason why they want us to go back to Africa is so they can come to America. All right, let's just say it. All right, they don't want us to be in the same place. They want us out of our place so they can replace us. That's what it's really all about. So when you start seeing all that, Senegal, I'm from here, I'm going there, I'm going to Kentucky, I'm going here over there. These people are coming to our country because these people want to be foundational Black Americans. As simple as that. And they're all being pushed right across that border by who? They're being pushed across the border by the same Democratic Party that tells us the underdeserved, the underprivileged, the disparities, all that Joe Biden talk. That's what you end up getting whenever you see these type of people. They're not coming over here to be friendly. How many times do foundational Black Americans got to really be honest and say that these folks are trying to invade, come over here and take our place? How many times you got to say it, man? How many times? And it ain't just New York and it ain't just LA. We seen it right there. And that ain't just people from the south of the border. These is folks flying all the way in from the other side of the world. Who's flying them in? Plane tickets cost money. All right. How you getting here? They talk about the Biden Express. We just showed last week folks jumping on a goddamn train and coming. Exactly. Taxpayer money. You damn right. That right there. Taxpayer money from us is funding all of that. And as someone said earlier in the chat, you ain't seeing these people come going to Wyoming, okay? You know, there's a lot of land in Wyoming, okay? Never been, but I can go ahead and put that together. You ain't seen these folks going to Kansas. You ain't seen these folks go to Nebraska, okay? These folks are coming to foundational Black American cities, and they want to continue to do it over and over again. It don't stop. We are Tether G-checking. We are Democratic Shield G-checking. We just G-checking anybody who got any type of problems with us. Check this out. Y'all remember when Chuck Schumer came out and he openly said we want 11 million people to come in, and he was talking about we're not reproducing and all that? This is part 2. A lot of people didn't catch this. This is part 2, family. He said right after that, just recently, after he said we need the 11 million, now watch him not back down on it, not double back. He continues to press it and say we need to continue to bring people in. This immigration invasion is not going to stop. And the only people who can do something about it are foundational Black Americans. It's either they gonna get their shit off or we gonna get ours off. That's what it is. Watch this, family. So remember the part where he said he wanted 11 million in. Now look what he says right here, right now.
First and above all, anything done on border has to be bipartisan, or the whole supplemental will get bollocksed up. I believe that Senator Biden's proposal, which is funding, will do the most to get us at the fentanyl crisis that Gene talked about and dealing with the problems at the border. We are not for policy changes. First and above all, anything
we are not for policy changes. Watch it again.
Done on border has to be bipartisan, or the whole supplemental will get bollocksed up. I believe that Senator Biden's proposal, which is funding, will do the most to get us at the fentanyl crisis that Gene talked about and dealing with the problems at the border. We are not for policy changes.
Boom. When they tell you what they're planning on doing, all you got to do is listen. All you got to do is listen, family. We sit back and we watch. They have all these type of supremacist dog whistles, all right? The supremacist dog whistle is when Joe Biden says we want to continue to keep immigration going. That's the supremacist dog whistle. The dominant society knows how to say things and make it look like they're talking to us, but in reality, they're talking to each other. He's talking to everybody else. He's talking to the Republicans. Look how he started. We got facts and receipts. He started off and said it has to be bipartisan and we don't need a change. What is he basically saying, family? He's saying that we have to continue to push immigration and we need y'all other W's from the other W community to get on board. Because if the red and the blue, the liberal and the conservative all get on board with immigration, we can finally get these foundational Black Americans out the paint. Everything revolves around us. It's all about foundational Black Americans because they know that we are the only ones standing up. They know all these people coming, all them Senegals, them Senegalese, them cannot come here tonight, tomorrow, the next day. All of those people, they know they're not coming over here. Did they look like they had any fight in them, family? Did any of those people look like they had any fight in them at all? Or did they look like they was going to come over here with that same tether talk and say, can I get in on it? Can I be down with y'all? Can I be on your side? One thing about us in the Black grassroots in this generation, we've been exposing all of these tethers in the way they think about us. Every single day, there's a new video of somebody from that community coming out, hating on foundational Black Americans. And we've been getting rid of that old myth that they all on our side. They all our friends. No, that ain't true. That ain't true. We know these people have spite, jealousy, and envy towards us. Family, what happens when you're dealing with somebody who's got envy for the dominant society and jealousy for foundational Black Americans? You get immigration. Let me say that one more time, okay? When you're dealing with somebody who has a whole lot of envy for the dominant society and a whole lot of jealousy for us, you're going to get everything that you're seeing right now. So this is why we're replacing. Let me say this clear, okay? And the family rocking all day long. Smash that like button. We are not immigrants. We are not minorities. Do y'all notice there's been this play, especially in the last few weeks, where they're trying to put us as immigrants? They're starting to say a lot of y'all Northerners with the Great Migration, y'all really are immigrants who migrated. Let me say this. You can't migrate an immigrant in your own country, okay? If you are in your country, if I'm on the east side and I move to the west side, that ain't immigration. That's me just moving, all right? If I'm on the north side and I go to the south side, that ain't immigration. That's just me moving. That's me walking, okay? I'm a walker, all right? I walk to the store. What's it going to be next, family? They're going to say foundational Black Americans, we really immigrants because I walk down to the grocery store? Is that what they're going to say next? They're going to say foundational Black Americans were really just refugees because rent was cheaper on the other side of town? They are trying to mix us in with immigration. See, at first, they try to make us look like we were non-FBA, all right? They don't want us to have the attachment that we have, mind, body, and soul, mentally, physically, spiritually. I always say that. They don't want us to have none of that. They want to take us and they want to put us in another category of immigration. Then they can try to hustle us. They can't hustle us when we foundations. They can't hustle us when we freedmen. They can hustle you if you run around here saying you're an immigrant, you're not really black. What Dr. Kubar be saying, we're Africans in America. No, no, no. We are Americans who built America, and there'd be no USA without FBA. And this era has fucked the whole game up, family, because now everyone has to deal with it. So they're trying to tell us that we are really just immigrants. We don't really know where we came from. Remember that? They used to try to do that back in the day? Because it makes the erasure a lot easier. It makes it more easy when you could say those people right there are just like them. Those are just like them Senegalese, just like those Mexicanos, all those people that come in. No, 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 no. Foundational Black Americans are the originators. We are the architects. How the hell can you build a country and be an immigrant? So now they're trying to take the Great Migration and trying to spin it. Let's be honest about the Great Migration. The Great Migration was us really building America 2 times. We already built the South, and then we really went up to the North and got the North popping. That's why when they start talking about the Freedmen's Bank, they're literally sitting there saying how blacks built this, built this, built this, built this, but the Latinos and everyone else was there too. Just like hip hop. If your ass was across the street watching, then you did not participate in it. You might have brought in some furniture. You might have brought in a piece here and a piece there, but it wasn't nothing like what we already had, okay? So let's get that straight. So now they're trying to give us these tethers who have these opinions on us, and they get mad when we call them out, and we're going to continue to call them out. We are certified foundational Black Americans. Ain't no goddamn immigrant. The only immigrants I see are people who come from these other places and they migrate. We cannot migrate in our own country. Watch this, family. Did y'all see this? This is the jealousy, the spite, and the envy that I'm talking about. Notice how, fam, 1 minute these people act like they don't understand our history. You ever notice whenever they're trying to take from us, it's we don't know that y'all was really slaves. They know how to play dumb when it's time to play dumb. And then they know how to flip-flop and try to be intelligent when it is. These people, and I've said this time after time, and I will continue, family. These people know more about our history than they lead on. Watch this.
There's always a reminder of slaverism with Americans, Black people especially. Why is it plugged? We're talking about 400 years ago. And because of it, Black Americans come out to other countries with that brainwash system, feeling that just because someone else has a different color or calls you a Black sister or calls you the N-word, there's something wrong. Why? It's a brainwash system that has been programmed into the Black Americans. So when you guys
freeze. First off, look at that sister right there. She looked like she about to go ahead and set it off up in there. Listen to how this person is trying to psychoanalyze our mental condition. When over in their homeland, they over there getting served right now. As we speak, as we rock today right here, family, they over there getting colonized for the 100th time. Don't let none of these people try to come around here and try to psychoanalyze us. Y'all got this mentality to where y'all don't understand things. Did she just sit there and say, if somebody calls you the N-word, y'all think it's bad? I think that's what she said. So basically telling us that over where they're from in their homeland, they allow it. That's why there's a new colonizer every single week. That's why you're being colonized by people who have a small amount. You get 2 oppressors, 2 colonizers, and they whooping millions of y'all at one time. Please do not talk to us on that time. Watch how she continues, family, and watch the way she tries to break it down and tries to tell us about our history. But whenever we start saying, well, why y'all ain't come to help us, then all of a sudden it's, we didn't know y'all history. Which one is it? Did you know it? Are you some type of professor? Or are you blind to it? Play no games.
When Americans come out or they want to talk about South Koreans, okay, take for example the mermaid film. Okay, like hello, what is there to have a Black mermaid there? No, something is wrong. Americans are always complaining about racism. Stop talking about racism, and the racism won't be there. The mindset is from America to come into South Korea, to come into an Asian country. Why is it different for? I'm wearing the shoes of an American. As an American, I would promote there is racism, whether anyone likes it or not. But as an African, I don't recognize that. I just watch the media about the topic. And since I've been here, I haven't really, in fact, when I look at Koreans, when they look at me, what I see is their curiosity rather. I'm used to seeing whites, but I'm not used to seeing Blacks. It's a curiosity. So they would definitely want to touch their hair. They would definitely want to look at us differently. It's our duty to educate them. of our race, of who we are. And that's what I've been doing as an African person. But as a Black person, the first thing I'm thinking about is my American passport. And second, racism does exist.
Oh, gosh. Family, I done heard some tether talk before in my life, all right? I done heard some tether talk before. That right there is the tether of the year, of next year, the year after. That's the tether of the century, all right? This person literally said, we have to educate people on basically how to be nicer. See, that's the difference, fam. Let's just keep it a buck. That's the difference between us and them. We are not on that type of time. We don't respect that type of time. That type of docile behavior has got their whole continent messed up. She's speaking English, by the way. And you see this all the time with these people. They are not on the same page as us because mentally, these folks love the dominant society and they can't stand us. She wishes that she was a foundational Black American. She wishes that she could say everything that we say, but she can't. And that's what's got them real shook. That right there is what we speak of when we talk about them. Whenever we say that these folks come over here to our country with spite, with jealousy, with envy, with vitriol, that right there is it. And I don't care what anybody says, anybody who runs around here and tries to pretend that that ain't the case. We in the Black grassroots, all of us foundational Black Americans, we've been calling it out and they can't stand it. They missed the days where they could say all that kind of stuff and Black folks will still try to go get the newest dashiki, right? Dr. Kubar still talk about going back to Africa. They wish that they were still in them days. Now, that type of talk ain't going to be tolerated. Ain't going to be tolerated. And that's what it is. We got zero tolerance because we give zero fucks about any of these people. It is all about our lineage, heritage, and culture moving forward. And if anybody's got a problem with it, hey, that's a personal problem. Because foundational Black Americans understand if we're trying to get to where we're going, and it's going to take all of us, we got to get that negative energy out. And that negative energy right there is what we're talking about. Watch this brother right here speak on it. And you're starting to see folks wake up. You're starting to see folks now really understand what we've been saying. Know this, brothers and sisters. Everything that you're hearing right now is all based upon the Black grassroots influencing people. The same way when I was out there speaking to the people with Marcel about reparations and they were on board, they're on board because of us. We are changing the discourse in this country, even when it comes to tethers, even when it comes to immigration, everything revolves around us. Watch this brother right here.
That you came here and you have the opportunities that you don't understand why the people who have been here for a long time have not been able to accomplish anything. Listen, don't be ignorant. Don't be like that. I understand that some Africans and Caribbeans identify as white. So if you're a dark-skinned African or Caribbean immigrant in the United States.
He said he understands that a lot of them identify as W's. Who started saying that first? We did. If we didn't say that, they keep it one big tether secret. They love they tether secrets, but all them tether secrets are getting exposed.
And things are going well for you and your family. And you found yourself saying that you don't understand why Black people complain. The reason you say that is because you've chosen to be ignorant in this day and age. You're lucky you came at a time when you can be identified as Black or African and not as an ape or a slave. They've put in all the work. We should be appreciative of the efforts they put in, not saying nonsense and buying into a stupid narrative. As a matter of fact, African Americans, Black Americans should come teach Africans how to fix systems because, these guys have done a great work. Africans still don't know how to do it.
Damn.
Nigerians are one of the very resilient people I know. Less than 3 years ago, there was a Lekki tollgate massacre, and the youth were like, oh, this is our time for a change. We're not our ancestors. We took 2 steps forward, thought we had made it, and boom, the government kicked us back into the shadows, 10 steps backwards. Nobody's talking about it today. So we should learn from them how to be resilient and persistent. Yeah, we're resilient, but we're not persistent. I'm saying this because I'm tired of hearing people say that like East Africans, they're West Africans, they're Caribbeans, always saying that same nonsense. Please, my African American and Black American people, you have my respect.
G-Check. How easy is it, family, to respect the only Black people on the planet Earth who ever stood up to the global system of supremacy? If you don't respect us, then you ain't never coming around. We ain't out here trying to reform a tether. We ain't out here trying to reform a FLIR. If you are not down with us today, you ain't never going to be down. It's very clear. See, the thing about life, family, people try to overcomplicate it. A lot of things ain't that complicated, especially when it comes to us. We certified, they counterfeit. All right, we on code, they off code. We Michael Jackson, they Tito. That's just what it is, family. They know that whatever foundational Black Americans do, they wish they could do it. And when it sets in that they can't, or when it sets in they ain't got it in them, then all of a sudden they start hating. That brother right there is someone who identifies exactly what we've been saying. He identifies exactly what we talk about. And it's easy to tell and it's easy to see. All these people running around here acting like they don't get what he was saying. How come he get it, but you don't? How come he can see it, but you can't? The only reason why somebody wouldn't get what he's saying is because they don't want to hear it. And we're in a whole situation where folks don't want to hear it. And either way, we're going to bring it to them. These people are not trying to get down with us. These people are trying to go on the opposite side of us so they can replace us. We ain't immigrants, family. You can see clearly by what he's saying and what he's speaking. We are not immigrants. Know it, but now the whole goddamn world's going to know it, and we're going to continue to let everybody else know it. I got more receipts, family. Y'all know that's what I do. I got receipts all damn day long. Since they spent the last 60 years telling us that all these people was our friends and our buddies, well, we're going to spend the next hour right here breaking down why none of them got our back. None of them have our best interests, and in reality, it's better off when we operate on our own. Listen to what this brother says. What would happen if we went over to their homeland? What would happen if we extended our foundational Black American excellence where they are? How would they receive us? I think y'all know the answer, and it shows y'all that the Black grassroots is influencing everybody because even somebody like this gets it.
To get your resources. Because trust and believe, if I took 1 million unemployed Black Americans and just dumped them into some Black nation in West Africa, the locals would riot against them. Just like they did in South Africa. In South Africa, they attacked other Black immigrants who were there because they were a threat to their jobs. And these women, these Black American women who moved to the Gambia, I think they kind of lost sight of that reality. That you're only welcome there to the degree to which they can get something out of you. I mean, I hate to say that. Another example is some of these countries, I believe, like Ghana, Senegal, I could be wrong. They have these citizenship things that Black Americans can get. Well, you can only qualify for that if you make a certain amount of money. They literally said, if you're a poor Black American, we don't want you here. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say. Because when you go on YouTube and you see these Black people in Africa, they really make it look like it's like Wakanda, and you know it's completely different than what they presented as in America. Another point is that most of these businesses in Africa are not even owned by Black people. So when these Black YouTubers go to Africa and show off all these cities and these businesses and these buildings, most of the time, those aren't even owned by Blacks. Did you know, for example, that less than 30% of all businesses in South Africa are owned by Black people? The number one, the largest company in Africa, the CEO is a white man. So a lot of these Black Americans that go to Africa and glorify, they're actually glorifying a new version of colonialism.
Point blank, period. And damn right, because all they have over there is colonialism. What is Africa really known for other than getting their shit took? What are they really known for right now? I'm not talking about going back in the past. I'm not talking about getting in the damn time machine. I'm talking about right here, right now. What are they more known for on the global scale? When you start seeing their politicians, these politicians are known to be sellouts for every single colonizer that pulls up. Family, you don't have colonizers doing what gets done to Africa in Africa unless half of them people, the majority of those people, 80%, 90% are off code, period. That is off code. You can't sit there. These things come in bunches, and you know it all the time. So family, when we speak about foundational Black Americans and how these people trying to jump in and get in on our culture, did y'all see this right here, family? Check this out. This person now is trying to run around and say, well, you know what? I realized that ethnicity-wise, I am a Black American. Now everybody want to be FBA. These folks ain't there want to be FBA back in the day. These folks want to be on their own time. Yes, they did. Now watch, family, how they're trying to come up with excuses, how they're really FBA on the inside because they came here and hung out. This is that same stuff that Flab Joe be talking about. where we were around y'all. So somehow y'all foundational Black American energy got on us. Watch this right now, where this person is reaching, grabbing, pulling, trying to get every single excuse that she can muster up to try to make herself an FBA. But here's the thing. You are FBA or you're not. Either you born with it or you ain't never gonna have it. You wake up a foundational Black American. You were born a foundational Black American. You can't come here and hang around us for an hour and a half and think somehow you done got that exceptionalism. Ain't happening. Watch this, family.
Recently, I've been thinking a lot about how to describe my identity, and then I heard a West Indian person call themselves ethnically Black American. And that ish hit because, like, yes, that is what I am. Do any of the Caribbean or African descendants kind of feel the same way? Like you straddle both worlds, both culturally and ethnically. Like I was born and raised in America and heavily identified with Black Americans. I mean, I even worked on the 1619 Project. But at the same time, I would never call myself Black American because I understand that my lineage doesn't have the same historical experience. But I'm not one of those Caribbean people who will be like, I'm not Black, I'm Trinidadian. Like, nah, I don't care. You call me Black, Black American, African American, like we all Black. So I think the best way to describe myself is that I'm ethnically Black American of West Indian descent, and my nationality is American. Lord, those foundational Black Americans about to tear me up.
Right there. Notice how, man, boy, let me tell you something. They done lost their damn mind. She's sitting there, really sound like she's talking to herself, right? It don't even sound like she's even trying to speak to us. All right. When she starts talking about foundational Black Americans, she said those foundational Black Americans. Now, she just spent the whole damn video trying to tell us how she is one of us because she's been hanging around. Look how they're trying to mold themselves into us. So you got one group of people trying to tell us that we're immigrants because we moved across town. You got another group trying to say minority, 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 just like that state senator that we pressed. He said minority 100 times. Maxine Waters said minority 100 times. This lady saying she hung around us for an hour, so somehow she's ethnicity-wise, she's a foundational Black American. Look at all the labels they're trying to put on us. But family, they would only do that because we got rid of all the old ones. This is a good thing. This is good, the very fact that they're trying to do this. It's very good that me and Marcel pressed that Georgia state senator, and he said minority 1,000,000 times, and I had to correct him. Because back in the old days, they would say stuff like that and everybody would just go along and be like, yeah, that's true now. Minority, minority, minority. Not anymore. Not anymore. That shit don't fly. So the very fact that you got 100 different people trying to put 100 different labels on us, that tells you nothing's working. If they had one, that means that one works. The fact that they got to use 100 lets you know that 99, all the other ones have failed. And this is a good thing because we are sticking to it. We run with who we are. We ain't getting named by nobody no more. All right, we got to quit that. Back in the old days, Black folks would just take names. The dominant society would name us. The people of color, everybody would say, we're one of y'all, we're this, that. And we've exposed all that. So she could sit there right now and try to come up with every reason in the book why she's one of us. We know she ain't. And the very fact that she had to end it and say, well, you know, I know them foundational Black America, they're going to get mad at me. Yeah, no, we're not going to get mad at you. No. Let's get this straight. We're not going to get mad. We're just going to reject you. And rejecting somebody take no emotion. See, we're not emotional no more. Gone are the days of all that emotion. Y'all remember back in the old days? Shit, just a couple years ago, the Yes We Can era, all them Black Lives Matter, they were super emotional. Love us, care about us, be on our side. Man, we don't give a damn about none of that. Run my check. How about that? The lack of emotion takes us far. And the very fact that we're not on that emotional tip anymore, it lets everybody know that they cannot play us. You show me somebody who's very extra emotional, I'm going to show you somebody who's going to call himself an African American, but ain't never been to Africa. I'm going to show you somebody who's going to say he's a person of color when really he's Black. Someone who's going to tell you he's a minority when in reality he's the majority. That's an emotional person. You show me somebody who don't give a damn, who's thorough, who's certified. I'm going to show you somebody who done rejected all those terms. So now you got people on TikTok trying to get in on our culture. Keep on. They knocking, family, but they can't come in because foundational Black Americans got it airtight. Check this one out right here too, family. This is another person. Watch the way this goes down. I want you to notice how they're trying to flip-flop and be very slick with their words. So you're going to have this person saying, well, you know, Black Americans say this about us, but the person who comes in and tries to make it look like they're sticking up for us is really throwing us under the bus. They're using a whole lot of backdoor game, but the problem is, family, no matter where they go, I don't give a damn if it's the front door, the back door, the window, the attic, the basement, everywhere they come to in this foundational Black American compound, we sitting there waiting on their ass and we doing it with style. Watch this.
Africans do not like Black Americans. So this is a fact.
No, it's an opinion, and a very asinine one at that. Because Africa is a continent with 54 countries and over 1.2 billion people. A statement such as Africans don't like African Americans is a very ludicrous statement because one, is perpetuating this narrative that there is beef and animosity between Africans and African Americans. And two, what that is doing is it's generalizing an entire continent based off of the actions of a couple of African hairdressers who live in America. And this is coming from someone who has traveled to 4 out of 54 of the African countries. Okay, so I went to Tanzania and I was treated like royalty. People were bowing at my feet. I felt like I was some type of long lost queen who had finally returned to the land. Let's talk about Ghana. Ghana was one of the most beautiful countries that I ever visited. I had a family who opened up their home to me. They were feeding me 3 times a day. We were living by the beach. They were doing so much to just make me feel welcomed and loved. So this is for all of my African American people. Go to Africa. Go to the different countries that are there. Learn some of the languages, learn some of the cultures there, because this is the thing. There are more similarities than differences between Africans and African Americans. And we need to kill this narrative. We need to break the plane and start the conversation so that we can get to know each other and enjoy the beautiful continent that we call the motherland, Africa, Azania. Okay? Peace and blessings, y'all.
That woman straight up came from 1991. She running that 1991 scam African hustle. She ain't got the memo that scam Africanism is gone, never existed actually. She ain't got the memo. This is the lineage-based era, so that type of time, nah, we ain't on it at all. No, ain't no goddamn way. Everything she said was outdated, and we've exposed it. Like, I don't know how you coming around us still trying to speak that type of language, all right? Nobody's going for that. We know without a shadow of a doubt that these people are anti-foundational Black Americans. Y'all want to know why? It's because they come over here and they tell us that they're anti-foundational Black American. It ain't hard to tell. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. These people do not like us, and based on what they say about us, we identify it. They say it, we call it out. They speak it, we regulate. That's all it is. They're acting like we're making up people. We're not making up folks. We telling everybody that these folks don't like foundational Black Americans, and they come over here and say that. I see way more tethered TikToks than I see anybody supporting us. We got to search and find somebody from over there who represents us. But when you start talking about people who talk down on us, oh shit, it's easy. Go get on TikTok right now. You'll go get 100 videos of somebody from the diaspora talking down on foundational Black Americans. They'll jump over each other. They won't speak to each other, but they always laser focus it on us. Why did they do that, family? Because everybody wants our position. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and we've been wearing the crown for 600. So this is why they on that type of game, fam. Now check this out too. When we speak about people calling us immigrants and trying to immigrant us, okay, they done already try to people of color us. They done already tried to minority us. Now, family, they've been trying to immigrant us. They've been trying to migrant us. They've been trying to refugee us. This guy right here, y'all know the NAACP, and we know what the C stands for, all right? The C has got about 5 O's in the middle, and it's got an N at the end. Y'all put that together, all right? The guy who runs the NAACP, Derek Johnson, the president of the NAACP, this guy came out and he straight up said that we are immigrants. This is where they are. When we say that these folks are making shit up so they can try to tie us in with everybody else, we mean it. We got the receipts right here. Watch how he's trying to plagiarize our history. Watch how he's trying to include us with immigrants, and watch how he's trying to take the great migration of foundational Black Americans who were moving throughout the country we built, and he's trying to equate it with people at the southern border. No shame. When you deal with a spineless person, you get spineless affairs. Watch this, family.
Some of you understand what I'm talking about. If you don't, let me put it this way. No one chooses where they are born, to whom, what family, what region of the globe, or what community, and they should have the right to survive. They should have the right to survive. I grew up in Detroit, as it was said earlier, and I loved my community. It was a beautiful community. It was a community of immigrants. Folks immigrated from Alabama. They immigrated from Mississippi. They immigrated from Arkansas.
What? Hold up. Wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute, family. This man said he grew up in Louisiana, and it was the home of immigrants. People immigrated from Arkansas and Georgia. He is literally caping so hard for immigration that he is trying to take the people who built this country, foundational Black Americans, and turn us into immigrants in a sentence. You do not immigrate when you travel amongst the country you built. As we was giving out the tether of the century, That right there is the bootleg COON of the century. I done heard some stuff before, family, but that's at the top of it. This is how desperate these shills are to try to get their immigration plan. What I said earlier, they're not going to stop. We're going to have to continue to keep on pushing, because if we continue to push, we can put an end to that. But at the end of the day, if you let these folks go, they're going to have all the history twisted. They're going to say Martin Luther King, he was really an immigrant. Huey Newton was. Kathleen Cleaver, they're going to say Harriet Tubman was really an immigrant. They're going to say the Underground Railroad was immigration. I bet they will. I bet they will. You don't put nothing past the dominant society, and you don't put nothing past their minions and their puppets. They will say that immigration was a part of our history, to the point where they will find every single foundational Black American, like I said, that moved across the street and try to tell us that we're just immigrants. That right there went under the radar, and a lot of folks didn't talk about it, but y'all know Black Alpha was gonna catch it. Watch this again, family. He said it was immigration. Now, what does the dominant society, in particular, the Democratic Party, say? They say we are a nation of immigrants. Barack Obama said it. Kamala Harris said it. Joe Biden said it. Schumer said it. Go all the way down the board. Van Nessa Jones, Roland Martin even said it. All of these people say we're a nation of immigrants, but they can't put that jacket on us. So now they're saying, well, we'll just say they immigrated in their own country. Shameless.
They should have the right to survive. I grew up in Detroit, as it was said earlier, and I loved my community. It was a beautiful community. It was a community of immigrants. Folks immigrated from Alabama. They immigrated from Mississippi. They immigrated from Arkansas. They immigrated from Georgia. A community of immigrants. Fleeing hostile territories where they were being oppressed and denied opportunity to work for a fair wage for their labor. Fleeing persecution because of the color of their skin.
That man just said fleeing. Now he's calling us fleers. Family, listen to this. If this is not the biggest Democratic shield off code shit you done ever heard, this is why we separate, we delineate, and we regulate. And that's the bottom line. That man said that you can't pick where you're born. So we can run and we can flee and we can hide. We weren't running, we weren't fleeing, we weren't hiding. We knew goddamn well when we went up north, the dominant society was still going to be up north. But guess what? We already knew when we're going to deal with them down here, we're going to deal with them up there. See, our notion is we're going to deal with them wherever they at, wherever they had smoke for us. Brothers and sisters were straight up putting it down up north, all the way across the board. Chicago, Detroit, all through Ohio. Brothers and sisters were always out there regulating the dominant side. Look at all the riots back in the 1960s, back in the 1930s. Go all the way back, family. There wasn't a time at all where Black folks went up north that they wasn't getting it in. They wasn't holding it down. So you mean to tell me basically we were fleeing? He's trying to make it look like somebody who fled from Nicaragua to America because he was fleeing his war-torn country. He was basically saying we were fleeing the South. That right there, family, is your Democratic typical shield who's trying to run the erasure game. That right there should be framed as the erasure in process. The same way they speak those dog whistles as the supremacists, so do the minions and the puppets as well. You put them all together, and their plan is to make us refugees, make us migrants, make us immigrants. So now, therefore, those same people can get in on what we created. They only want to stand next to us politically because when the tangibles come in, they can get in on them. That's what they've always been doing, and that's what they will continue to do. We ain't got no time for these games, family.
Well, y'all talk about Latino people, we're talking about Black folks. Now look around this room, all of us are immigrants. You think about it. Look at your family history. Most of you are second, third, and some are fourth and fifth generation who migrated either during the Great Migration 1 or Great Migration 2. Immigrants. Others who immigrated from other countries because of persecutions and failed governments and issues that caused them to have to leave from the place of their ancestral birth to come here because it was said there were opportunities and or safety. Immigrants. Others of you who come from some European country because of persecution, whether it was based on religion or lack of opportunity, and you came here because your ancestors or your immediate parents seeking opportunity. Immigrants. Opportunities that was guaranteed under this thing we call a constitution that we know as a social contract. But that contract is only as good as the individuals who are in office to ensure it is provided to all citizens.
Boom. There you go, all the way across the board, family. So now we ain't immigrants at all. And that's the rhetoric that we've been rejecting. And the best way to handle that, family, is to not vote for the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party are the ones who facilitate those type of policies. So the more we don't vote, I always tell people, they say there's power in voting. I also say there's power in not voting. All right. See, if we do not vote, then those type of people are out of business. And I'm talking about it's a trickle-down effect. It goes all the way across the board. Every single one of those Democratic shills are out of business when foundational Black Americans do not vote for the Democratic Party. If you vote for the Democrats, guarantee you, they're not going to take your vote and say, okay, we're going to stop that. We ain't going to do none of that. We go ahead and vote for the Democratic Party, and you're going to find out that they will continuously push that type of policy, and they will push those people upon us, and they will not quit until they get that erasure that they've been trying to get the whole very goddamn long time. So as we proceed and we push through this cycle, family, I want y'all to notice they're only talking that talk whenever they can get in on us, and anytime they can't get in on us, it's a whole different story, completely different. Now, going back to when we're speaking of that, how they say we're immigrants, family, I want y'all to notice. Remember earlier, we was talking about that clip where you had Roland Martin, and Roland Martin was sitting there talking about the other group and how this group right here was going to get some laws, and this group was going to pass this, and they was going to get in on what we created. I want y'all to notice. I played this video last week. All right. This was about a guy coming in from the UN and how Joe Biden and them were paying this dude. Paying him. And it's not just one. They were paying a lot of these people to come in across the border. They were paying a lot of these people to get in, and foundational Black Americans don't get a dollar. They can't find our reparations, but they seem to always find money for stuff like this. Watch this guy from last week, family. He was openly telling everybody that he gets money put on his card so he can be a paid immigrant. And if you look at him, family, you know who he's coming over here to cosplay.
El 7 de enero a 14 de enero, pero no depositan nada.
So the whole month of January, you haven't received anything.
What were they supposed to receive in there?
¿Cuánto es lo que te dan? Es el último pago. ¿Cuánto fue? De cuatro. El dinero, 3,600 pesos.
3,600 pesos was the last payment I received.
And it goes. Does that go into your bank account?
¿A dónde va? ¿Tienes una cuenta? ¿Una tarjeta? Sí. ¿Tienes?
Oh, let me see. And how much is anything on that card now at all? Any money?
No hay dinero. No hay nada. No deposito.
Man, getting a card right there. Straight up, getting a card, getting paid for, getting brought over here, easy work. Now, going back to Roland Martin, or shall I say Holland, watch how when Holland was caping for that little immigrant claim, that little reparations claim, basically people trying to steal our reparations style. Okay, notice how all the Black folks keep talking about people of color. We done played it. People of color, minority. You done heard every all-in term, every all lives matter term. They done played it all. But I want y'all to notice when they start talking to the Mexican lady, she don't say all lives. She don't say minority. She don't say people of color. She says Mexicans. And they're talking about this right here. Watch this, family.
For the destruction of the land known as Section 14 in the downtown area more than half a century ago.
It happened after long-term land leases were legalized on Indian lands, and the value of that land soared. As News Channel 3's Jake Ingrassi reports, if the case is successful, it could cost the city of Palm Springs hundreds of millions of dollars.
Section 14 survivors taking steps toward a lawsuit are demanding reparations from the city over a dark stain in its past.
As a child, seeing houses being burnt around you, not really knowing what's going on.
Pearl Devers and Delia Ruiz Taylor were among the hundreds of Black and Mexican families who were forced out of their homes in the Section 14 neighborhood near now downtown Palm Springs in the 1950s and 60s.
We were these poor Mexicans, poor Mexican family, poor Mexicans, poor Mexican families, poor Mexicans, poor Mexican family, poor Mexicans, poor Mexican family.
Freeze. Notice right there, she wasn't talking none of that people of color. She wasn't talking none of that underserved. She didn't use no term. That right there is in Palm Springs. They were talking about Black Americans, okay, who built everything. There's not one spot in this country that we didn't build, okay? So anybody who talks about somebody else building something, no. But what's happening now is people are trying to come get reparations. And let's be real. Now everybody wants reparations. Everybody's talking about reparations. Everybody's thinking about reparations because of us. So we knew this was coming. So you have a bunch of, they say indigenous and it's really black people, but now you're having a bunch of brown folk who are coming trying to get reparations, and they're trying to get it based on the fact that they were next to us while we were building. This is what Holland Martin and that Democratic Shield lady were talking about earlier. They were sitting there trying to have a conversation and telling us that foundational Black Americans built it all up. They're talking about how foundational Black Americans built all of that land out there in Cali, right? So as they sit there and tell us that we built it, they're also saying that other people deserve reparations for it. So you already see what type of time they're on. They'll tell us that we created it, but they'll also tell us we have to share it. But notice that lady right there, she didn't say minority, okay? Like that bootlick that me and Marcel were talking to in Savannah. She didn't say minority. She didn't say minority, black, brown, people of color. She didn't say none of that like Holland Martin. None of that. Like, what's the girl, Maxine Waters? They ain't say none of that talk. When it comes to them, she made it clear. She said they was Mexican people. She ain't add black people. So you already know what type of time they're on. When it comes to us, it's everybody. When it comes to them, it's just them. Watch her right here again, family. Speak on it.
Of Black and Mexican families who were forced out of their homes in the Section 14 neighborhood near now downtown Palm Springs in the 1950s and 60s.
We were these poor Mexicans, poor Mexican family, or Mexicans, poor Mexican families, poor Mexicans, poor Mexican family, or Mexicans, poor Mexican family, and these white people wanted us out of there.
Their group is now seeking direct payments from the city of Palm Springs for what their claim states is millions of dollars of racially motivated harm caused by the evictions. Damages could range from $400 million to $2 billion. Attorney Ariva Merton is the lead counsel for Section 14's survivors and descendants.
These families were denied that opportunity. They were denied the opportunity to purchase homes, to build that equity, and then to pass that equity down to subsequent generations. That is how we build generational wealth.
Well, tonight, the city of Palm Springs could be.
Notice how now all of a sudden they want to start talking about reparations. They weren't talking about reparations before then, not at all. And did y'all see Kamala Harris popped up the other day, and now they're getting real nervous when it comes to the election. We're going to go through it. I told y'all we have receipts, and we're going to continue to drop them. First off, notice how, as we say, that lady was talking about Mexicans. All the black folks was the ones talking about all lives matter. But y'all notice the very fact that we sit here and we regulate, we break it down, we G-check, we running up on folks, we paying them real close-up visits and letting them know what type of time we're on. I want y'all to see how the Democrats are starting to feel about it. Look at all the Democrats, all the Democratic shills, all the Democratic puppets and minions, and you can see what type of time they're on. They're all aware that foundational Black Americans are in service, and they don't know what's going to happen in this coming election. When we say no tangibles, no vote, we mean no tangibles, no vote. And when we say that, they start to say this right here. Kamala Harris is shook, as always. Boy, she looked terrible. Goddamn. Kamala Harris is on here shook. So is Holland Martin, and so is the American Democrats of Slavery. Watch all of them trying to plead their case, but they know it ain't going nowhere.
Bill, we're going to win. Let me just tell you that. We're going to win. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but we will win.
You say that with such conviction.
I have no doubt, but I also have no doubt it's going to be a lot of work. And everyone's going to have to participate. This is a democracy.
Are not making Black folks a primary priority and putting the resources.
Look, he can't even talk. Hey, he's so shook. The Black grassroots got him so scared he can't even get it out. The priority, he didn't even beep. He done use goddamn 5 J's, a P, an X, a Y. We got him stumbling over his own words like he always does, and he's only doing it because we ain't voting for him. Watch him trying to make excuses. This is them trying to talk to the Democrats and say, y'all got to do better, and y'all got to continue to con Black folks, but we ain't going for it.
Are not making Black folks a primary priority and putting the resources behind it. They're paying lip service, and that's why you see the turnout that you're seeing.
I think that making Black folks a priority in more than just sort of this ancillary spending is gonna have to take place for Democrats to have the same wins and gains that they expect or that they want. But when we conducted our own focus groups, we found that especially among low propensity voters or the Black voters that are the hardest to turn out, they have very little faith in the Democratic Party at all. That's not shown to be productive.
Now watch Strappy. Watch her complain.
I'm not playing to ADOS men at all, except to call them stupid and say that you don't need anything and say that you just don't know enough of how to vote or whatever.
right? It's just very dismissive, and that kind of dismissiveness in party politics, in terms of policy and in terms of rhetoric, has a consequence. But nobody wants to talk about that part. And let me just bring up another part. How in the world do you nominate Joe Biden to be the Democratic nominee for president, given what he did in terms of mass incarceration and who mass incarceration impacted the most, which was ADOS men, and then say, why are you thinking about voting Republican? You took the man who did the worst to this group of people, and you decided not only we're not going to punish him, but we are going to nominate him, and you doggone well better vote for him. You cannot do that as a political party or as a group of people and then wonder why this group of men is not feeling you. That's part of the reason so many of them fall, so many of them fall to people like.
Hey, she used to men not feeling her. She got a lot of experience on that one.
So many of them fall, so many of them fall to people like Tariq Nasheed and the underbelly of YouTube, because they don't feel like anybody speaks for them. So they find the biggest knucklehead in the world sometimes. Not all the time. We know most men aren't watching this because we know how many million ADOS men there are in America, and we know what the views are on these shows. But what I'm saying is everybody's going to go find a champion. I'm just telling you. People are going to go find their champion.
Boom. Now, family, does she seem very concerned? Doesn't she come across like she's a Democrat? Does it sound like she's talking to the black grassroots, to the lineage, to the heritage? Or does it sound like she's talking to the dominant society, all the W's, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris? She sounds like a Democrat talking to Democrats. All that shit where she's trying to act like she's a grassroots representative, hell to the no. Well, what do we say? We say no tangibles, no vote. You could take everything she just said right there, that whole damn clip, and it's about 5 minutes. I cut it down to 2. You could take that whole clip and we can sum it up all with no tangibles, no vote. Okay, keep it moving. That's how the black grassroots talks. That's how certified black society talks. We talk direct. Either you gonna run that check, give us our reparations, or you ain't getting no vote. She's in there saying, we got to work better, y'all. And y'all didn't do that now. How y'all gonna support ADOS men? All that bullshit. Because she's really a Democrat saying the same thing. What was the difference between her and Roland Martin? These are both Democratic shills trying to tell the Democrats, y'all got to get these black folks to vote. Basically saying, y'all lies ain't working no more. All the lies that y'all done came up with ain't nobody going for. These Democratic shills now are getting that spotlight put on them. And we done ran their asses out. So when you start talking about the tethers, you start talking about the fleers, we done ran them out. You start talking about the puppets, the minions, the shields, we done ran them out. This election shit gonna get real. And it's really gonna get real because, like I said, we out here pushing that line. When I say we pushing that line, we really doing it. How many videos do you see of brothers and sisters throughout the whole country, all 50 states, and they pressing politicians? That is new. That's a new time. That has never happened before. Okay, when you start dealing with regular foundational black American men, I'm talking about men, women, young, old, we out here really pushing. I seen our sisters in Baltimore put in work. I see California. Y'all know Cali was holding it down. I'm seeing our brothers and sisters in NY, the Midwest, all throughout the South. We are telling these politicians and their shields that shit ain't gonna work no more. What you got? Well, the minorities, that ain't gonna work. What you got? Well, the underserved and the disparities and the disenfranchised, fuck that, fuck them. What you got? You ain't got reparations, then you ain't got my vote. Simple as that. That's how we talk. We talk because we are outsiders. We are outside of the system of supremacy. You can hear the way we speak. When you just hear Strappy and Roly-Poly, they're talking like they are card-carrying members of the Democratic Society, and that is exactly what they are. And we've been calling them out on it, so they ain't got nothing else to say. They ain't got nothing else to say. They can't move, they can't work, they can't operate. And that's the damn good thing, family, because that's what happens when we put it down. And that's what happens when they are on our time and everybody's on our time. So as we continue to push through and we let everybody know, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter where you're at, you're going to have to bow down to foundational black Americans. You're going to have to bow the fuck down. There's nothing that's going to change that. And back in the old days, black folks would vote blindly, but not just vote blindly. They would vote blindly and then they would just fall back. And they would say, well, we'll just let Obama fix it. Now, Obama, anybody, they can't even pull him out. You feel me? They try to pull out Obama. Ain't nobody going for no damn Barack Obama. 1-point hold, 2-point hold, 3-point hold. Whatever they try to find, family, it ain't going to work. Why ain't it going to work, family? Because we are not allowing it. They even went and found Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams was just in Nigeria as an international observer, and she was watching their elections. Why was she over there watching their elections in Nigeria? is because she can get all that Democratic shield talk off on them, but they can't over here. We are literally responsible for making Stacey Abrams get a goddamn plane ticket, board a plane, fly all the way to Africa, and basically go interfere in their elections. It shows you again, when we say that they would prefer the tethers, they would prefer the fleers, they would prefer the blenders and the spinners and the runners and the hoppers and the skippers over foundational Black Americans, it proves our point and confirms it, because they're taking politicians that couldn't even get a vote from us and they sending them over there to work their magic on them. That's what happens when we reject them. So Stacey Abrams been gone. She tried to run right down here in Georgia, and what happened? She lost 2 times. All right, that was Mammy Luther King. Let's keep it a buck. They took Mammy Luther King and they put billions of dollars into her. They've been grooming Stacey Abrams since the Bill Clinton administration. We got pictures and videos of her during the inauguration in, I want to say, 96, where she was young. You know, the Democrats start you off young. They groom you, all right? They find you, they groom you up, all right? They on some Democratic grooming, all right? And then they go get their shield, and then they put them on us. And none of that worked. None of that worked. They said, Stacey, we done used you since 96. We done had you come out here and try to fool these foundational Black Americans. That ain't work. All right, I got an idea. Let's go send you to Africa and see if it works on them. We ain't got nothing for you over here because you don't work against foundationals. Family, none of these people work against us. That's what it is. They do not work against foundational Black Americans. The lies, the deceptions, the con games, the trick bags, the hustle, the scheming, the plotting, the scamming, none of that works on us. It may have worked 10 years ago, 15, 20, not now. And everything is about right now. It's all about moving forward. It's all about this generation, this election. This election gonna get real. It's gonna get real because this era is real. This is the real-time era. We got real thoughts. We putting in real work. We want real tangibles. There ain't nothing fake about right now. And that's what they can't stand. They love it when foundational Black Americans in the past were operating on hope. You know what hope is? Hope is something that ain't been here. All right. You can't touch, feel hope. All right. Wishing, faith, all that, coping, none of that stuff. But I tell you what you can. You can touch tangibles. You can touch your reparations check. You can spin it. You can flip it. You can buy it. You can do anything you want to do when it comes to right now. When it comes to back then, folks are just closing their eyes and pushing along. And the very fact that we open our eyes, the very fact that we pushed along, the very fact that we are pressing these people, we're running up on these people, and we letting them know that if you're going to come around us and you're going to run that minority con game, then we're going to go ahead and run that foundational Black American G-check. And that's what we've been doing. So they went and they found them Stacey Abrams, and she came right here. And all I did was hop in the ride, met up with Marcel, and then we went to go see her, and they ran that, tap dancing bootleg dude in front of us, and we regulated him, but they got her out of there. The reason why they got her out of there so fast, family, because they saw us. We seen it. We seen it, family. We know for a fact that they seen us when we walked in, posted up, took a seat. They seen us, so therefore there's like, let's get that energy over there, and let's take her over there, because one thing they don't want is that sellout bootleg energy in the same environment with certified Black society, because when they're in our presence, they do not exist. So they went and they found them, their Mammy Luther King. They boarded her a flight, brought her back over here for this election, right during election season, right for election time. And soon as she pulled up, family, she started talking that Democratic shield talk that we used to. And y'all check it out right here.
Sometimes the treatment hurts worse than the disease, but we know that when we vote again and again, and when we send him back to City Hall with friends who will stand up and stand with and disagree without being disagreeable. That's right. People who will speak truth to what is needed, but will roll up their sleeves and do what must be done. That is how Savannah moves forward. So I need you all to know that he doesn't stand alone, that whether I am in Atlanta or traveling the country, I'm not going anywhere near where my friend suggested, but where I will always be, what I will always do.
Notice how she said traveling. She said no matter where I'm at, she's addressing the fact that nobody has seen her. See, we got the receipts. We got the real talk. We know why ain't nobody seen you, Stacey. It's because the Black grassroots has ran your ass off the block. When you get ran off the block, can't nobody see you, all right? You went and go hide. So this is what you're talking about. So the very fact, fam, that she's sitting there talking about some, we went and hid and they told us where I was. The reason why she's saying that, because they have to address the elephant in the room. No pun intended, y'all. We have to address the elephant in the room, and that is that Stacey Abrams got ran off the block, or just like Roland Martin rolled off the block and sent her to Nigeria the same way she got rolled out of this event because she's seen Black Alpha Network into place.
is stand up for, stand beside, and stand proud of my friend and your next thing, the inmate, Van Johnson.
And family, there were so many empty seats. I mean, empty seats for days. But she wasn't done yet there, family. No. She continued to talk. All right. That was actually the second clip. On the first clip, she came right over here. And the first thing she started doing was those old, outdated talking points, family. And she started trying to run us with the gender divide. Y'all know the gender divide does not work on real ones, okay? This is about certified sisters, certified brothers, and we represent certified Black society, one family, right? So she comes over here and she starts talking about Black girl magic, gender divide, who supports Black women. They're running the same game, family. They ain't got nothing new. We got them shook against the ropes because they cannot find anything to stop us. That is the beauty of being on code. Watch her right here, family. Try to run that gender game and it don't work.
And I'm going to take a point of personal privilege. Our friend, the real estate agent, Ms. Tasha, pointed out that she's African American. It's been pointed out that I am too. I am a Black woman. And I'm a Black woman who not only stands with Van Johnson, I know Van Johnson, I trust Van Johnson. And if I live in Savannah, I would vote for Van Johnson. And anyone who tells you that he doesn't stand with Black women is not telling the truth.
Right.
And it's important that we call that out because that's a trope that they have used to divide our communities. Not just divide the Black community, but give other people an excuse to dislike or distrust. But I'm going to be very clear in my allegiance.
I cannot stand the way she talks, man. I cannot stand. I stand with Van Johnson, clear my abuse and my friendship. Let me tell y'all this, okay? She's, like y'all said earlier, y'all said it in the chat. Y'all said these people are not dumb, at least not when it comes to anti-foundational Black Americanism, right? When it comes to hating us, they're very intelligent. These people start finding all types of things. So typically, she comes around here and she uses the gender to divide us. But what she did right there, she says that someone else is trying to use the gender divide. They take things that they do against us and they say it's really just the Republicans, all right? Or sometimes they'll just say it's some faceless group. They like to divide us. No, you do. They like to separate us. No, you do. So you have somebody who is using the gender divide and trying to say that she's not going to gender divide us against our own interests. This is what we speak of once again when we talk about these bootlicks and these sellouts, family. You know what type of time they're on. And family, what would it be if you're talking about bootlicks and sellouts if we didn't bring up these moistocrats? Family, we done already exposed these moistocrats. Y'all know this election season. So y'all know they're going to pull them out. Y'all know they're going to bring them in. Look at these moistocrats, family. They done pulled them out. Y'all know when they get these real sassy-ass Black men and these sassy-ass Black men start yelling at us about Joe Biden, all right, look like they're about to go hang out with RuPaul, all right, walk the catwalk with RuPaul tonight. And now in the meantime, while walking the catwalk with RuPaul, they stop to try to lecture us. Look at the way they pulled out this moistocrat. And these moistocrats are everywhere. And that lets you know that the Democrats have nothing left.
Saying this we ain't voting for Joe Biden, but you need to take this W right here, flip it upside down, and let's talk about me real quick because me don't equal we because my A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, however, am voting for Joe Biden. And ain't no fuck thing y'all ass is gonna do about it, okay? Look. See this A, B, C, D, back to the G. The G here, we have a House Speaker who believes that the LGBT and the G means gay, my Black ass. My gay, happy rainbow sugar-coated motherfucking ass. They want to ban and make it illegal to be gay. So, back to me real quick. If y'all asses don't vote for Joe, then my ass is going to damn jail. So my question is, we are all y'all collective motherfuckers gonna put money on my motherfucking books? That's the goddamn question. So keep
enough. This is what we talking about, family. This is who the Democrats have. This is who the Democrats are trying to put in front of us. How in the world do you think that right there is gonna make any logical, sane person go out and vote? It ain't gonna work. If that's all you got, then you ain't got nothing. These are these moistocrats. And these moistocrats are coming out of the blue every time you turn around, family. You cannot turn around without seeing a moistocrat pop up, tell Black folks how they gonna walk down the catwalk, tell Black folks what we needs to do, Tell black folks they need to get their fingernail polished. And we also need to go vote for Joe Biden in the process. Family, come on. And y'all notice this really only comes up whenever it's the Democrats. Who is the Republican version of this? I don't really know who they are, but I see 100 Democrat ones. It always happens. These are the moistocrats, family. And when you start talking about the moistocrat, y'all know they come in bunches. You feel me? So you got this guy been popping up left and right. This dude got a new damn TikTok video all the time, talking that same talk, trying to get us to go vote. Sassy as hell, you feel me? But nobody's really listening or paying attention to any of that nonsense he's talking, because if the Democrat Party has that, that's their voter campaign, that's their strategy. You see, I guess they got to move on from the rappers, right? We done pretty much ran all that rapper stuff out the building, because every week they try to go get a new rapper and all that kind of stuff. So we done ran that out. So they said, damn, let's, instead of going to get rappers, let's go get us some moist TikTokers. That is the moistocrats, family. But y'all know they come in 2s, 3s, and 4s now. And remember this dude right here? Y'all remember this moistocrat? That man right there. Look at this moistocrat, family. This is a guy that was trying to talk about me when I was going down to Jacksonville to cover that hate crime. And he was saying, well, we already have a hate crime. He's one of those, we already have a hate crime people, right? This is dude right here. He came out on the same sassy shit the last guy was on. And he's out here tap dancing and buck dancing again, so he can get him some rainbow brownies. All right, that's what they want, family. They want some rainbow brownies from the dominant society. They want Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, when she's done with the collard greens, to go and bake them some rainbow brownies with some rainbow sprinkles so they can live that rainbow life. But guess what? You're going to be left with no rainbow brownies, no rainbow butter biscuits, and no vote, because foundational Black Americans ain't going for it. This is moistocrat number 2.
I'm seeing more and more posts like this coming across my social media feeds where people are saying that they are definitely not going to vote for Biden. And one of my favorite content creators said that she feels as though what's happening with President Biden's stance in the Middle East is going to cost him the 2024 election. And a lot of people in her comments, many of them younger people, are saying, I agree, I'm not voting for Biden. And that's fine. Look, I'm done asking for anybody to vote for anybody other than voting for me when my time comes to run, because you live in the same country that I live in. You know what it is. But I will say that I don't think that a lot of young people understand what's called diplomacy. The only way to end a war is through diplomatic measures. That is how it happens. I'm caught up in a world where the viral moment of the fiery.
Hey, this man, look at hey, look at him. Look at this dude. He's trying to give us a history lesson, a political lesson, and an economic lesson with a damn robe on. This man got on a velvet robe. All right. Look at that right there. Look at that face. That does not make anybody want to go vote. That is not going to make foundational Black Americans get up and support the Democrats. If Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have that, they might as well start packing their shit tonight, because that ain't going to work. That ain't going to fly at all. Look at this man, or this whatever. This dude is sitting here trying to give us some type of lecture about voting so he can get him some rainbow brownies. Hell to the no. Proceed.
Progressives, or the ridiculous tweets of the do nothing, say everything conservatives are all we're inundated with. But the hardline stance and the angry rhetoric of people like Rashida Tlaib and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, it's not going to end a war. That's not going to bring about a solution to what's happening in the Israeli-Hamas war. That's not the answer. What President Biden is doing is extremely courageous and measured. He knows what's at stake. And to me, what I am seeing from President Biden, the communication, the fine line that he's walking, is diplomacy that only a man like him could do, further proving that this man is indeed the president for this moment, that no one else, not Elizabeth Warren, not Bernie Sanders, not even Vice President Kamala Harris, as much as I love her.
As much as oh, hell no. Goddamn. Sad day, family. That's what you're talking about. That's your modern day Democrat right there, y'all. That's your modern day Democrat. And that's why the modern day Democrat cannot keep up with us. And that's why we outclassing them and we wrapping circles around them on a day-to-day basis, family. That is what's going on out here in these streets. Goddamn. That man said, as much as he loves her, as much as he loved him some collard green Kamala, he got to be honest now. They's not going to win, and they needs all the votes so he can get all the goddamn rainbow brownies, all right? That's what he want, family. That's what he pushing for, but it ain't going to fly, not out here in the real world, family. So this is what the Democrats are trying to push on us, trying to think that that's going to get us a vote. So all the signs are right there. Everything is lined up and let you know that these groups who come over here, I don't give a damn if it's an NAACP. I don't give a damn if it's a Moisture Crack. I don't give a damn if it's a Rainbow Brownie, a Democratic Shield, Roly Poly, Strappy, all of them. Put them all in one goddamn box, okay? None of these people are going to get anything from us because we are lineage first, reparations over everything. Simple as that. You solve a lot of issues just being about yourself, number one. When you about yourself, number one, you ain't got to worry about none of that. You ain't got to give no elongated speech. You ain't got to break it down. You ain't got to run it in circles. You ain't got to do no roundabout talk. You just stay true to the game. And since we're so true to the game and we're true to our lineage and we stand on lineage business, things are getting done in a real fashion. So you can't come over here, Roly Poly. You can't come over here, Stacey Abrams, Mammy Luther. You can't come over here, none of y'all, and run any type of hustle or con game on foundational Black Americans because we're too thorough. This is what they always had nightmares about, family. I always say, we are our ancestors' wildest dream, and we are the dominant society's worst nightmare. They were afraid. Make no mistake about it, y'all. They were afraid of this generation of FBA. They was afraid of it. They seen it coming. Why y'all think they gave our ancestors so much hell? Why you think? They didn't just give our ancestors so much hell because of them. Of course, they wanted to get rid of foundational Black Americans in the present, but they really want to get rid of foundational Black Americans in the future. And they realized that we were never going to go away. The reason why Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, the Black Panther Party, we can go all the way through with Harriet Tubman, Tupac Shakur. The reason why all of these people were surveillance, followed, harassed is because of us. They knew the time was going to come. Well, we wasn't going to fall for the con games. They knew when they put Barack Obama in front of us and we moved him out the way, they was going to have trouble. They knew when they put Kamala Harris in front of us, we moved her out the way, they was going to have trouble. So they had to harass and they had to come down on all of our ancestors because they knew that we was on our way. And guess what? We here now. And since we here now, they scared. The fact that they sending out all of these people, we are that strong. We are that certified, family. So we're going to continue to keep on pushing through. No matter what Democratic shield they put in front of us, we are going to continue to ride on them until we get what is ours. See, when you talk about reparations and you start talking about tangibles, that's not a halfway street. All right. You got to be on it all the way. And that's what I love about the family. We are on it all the way. We're not out here half stepping. If you come out here and you say you want reparations and you half step, you ain't going to get it. You might as well just say you don't want it. If you say you halfway and you going halfway step to get tangibles, you ain't going to get them. You got to be 100% full time all the time. And that's what we're about. Notice, family, we ain't got tired yet in this era. We've been pushing reparations heavy now for really the last 10 years, but the last 5 been powerful. We didn't have reparations rallies, all right? We done pressed senators. We done paid politicians visits. We done did everything that we done wanted to do, and we ain't got tired yet. You can make the case that we're getting stronger every single day. So the very fact that we get stronger every single day, that goes to show you that we are on code more than ever. The very fact that they got to throw everything at us. In this episode alone, we done broke down every single op. How many times did we break down ops, family? I mean, who are they? Like, you're talking about ops from every single country, continent. You got people of different backgrounds, different ethnicities. There's not one group on this planet Earth that is not foundational Black American. That's the way I view it. That's the way I approach it all. You are anti-foundational Black American until further notice. And you can't come in with one nice word, one nice phrase. You can't throw up a goddamn flag. You can't put a black fist in the air. You can't say I support reparations and come on in. Hell to the no. We've made it very, very difficult on all of these oppositions. Yes, we have. Why? It's because we understand. Back in the day, people would come in and they would play us by trying to cater to us. You're having a very hard time trying to cater to us because the only way you can cater to us is cutting a check. So until you cut that check, there ain't going to be no catering. You could throw anybody at us. We're going to continue to reject them. And I don't give a damn. The code is not meant to be friendly. Let me say that right now, family. Anybody who's got a friendly code ain't got a code. It is all about being a hardliner. We know who's certified. We know who's of the lineage, who's of the bloodline, who's a part of this FBA family tree. See, we're people with some real intuitive senses. We look at each other, we eye each other, and we know who's on our side and who's not. In this era, we just say it loud. We represent it to the fullest. So they got to make sure that they understand that when you throw people at us like this right here, family, we are going to reject them. Watch the way this person tries to give us the roundabout. Y'all know in this episode, family, we are breaking the record for receipts. I think we had one episode, probably like 30 receipts. I'm already at about 45 on this episode. So we done broke the record of receipts. And not only the receipts that we're seeing from folks on the internet, even the ones that I went out in person and got the footage for. So we are on game more than ever. Watch the way this person is trying to do the yeah, but, could be, would, should. But we ain't on no yeah, but, could be, would, should. We on some run that goddamn check or get out of here.
Here's to come to the front. I want y'all to listen to this. Hold on.
I voted for Biden in 2020. I have never liked him. And when I first heard that he was going to be the Democratic candidate, I said that I wasn't going to vote in 2020, but I felt like it was important and I felt like he was the lesser of two evils. And I still feel that. But after today, I cannot imagine voting for him in 2024.
We will not vote in 2024. If you... This message is for Joe Biden. You've already lost. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. My generation is going to make sure that doesn't happen.
If the Democratic Party is not seeing these numbers and are still acting delusional, they cannot complain when they...
Now, see, the problem with every single one of these creators and what they are pushing is the fact that they are telling their followers to do not vote, that they're not going to vote because they don't want to vote for Biden and da-da-da. And I get that. I get it. But what you are pushing is even more dangerous. Go look up, hit that search bar and type in Project 2025. Go educate yourself before you get on this damn app and start preaching about how you're not going to vote in this upcoming election, because you not voting is even worse. You understand? You are pushing a rhetoric that is dangerous. That is dangerous. Because if you decide to withhold your right to vote, and even if you just don't agree with Biden, go look up Project 2025. Because
Wait a minute. Let me catch that again. Hold on. Ho. I got a response for that. What'd she say? Hold on. Let's hear that again, family.
Start preaching about how you're not going to vote in this upcoming election, because you not voting is even worse. You understand? You are pushing a rhetoric that is dangerous. That is dangerous.
She said, if you don't vote in this upcoming election, then you are dangerous. Well, I guess we some dangerous motherfuckers then, because we ain't voting. How about that? You take that, TikToker, all the way to the Democratic Party and you let them know. I guess we just dangerous. Check us down as dangerous. But you can go ahead and check us down as running that damn check and certified too. So right next to dangerous, you make sure you say foundational. You make sure you say certified. You make sure you say on game, on code, and on point. So saying that we dangerous and we's wrongs and we's bad, that ain't scaring us. That ain't scaring us. Nah, ain't gonna happen. First off, y'all done said everything about foundational Black Americans any goddamn way. What have these people not said about us? See, that's another thing about this era. Family, I love being a part of this era. I swear to God, I love this era because in this generation, we're not concerned with all the words. Y'all remember back in the old days, y'all being divisive? They say now the tethers come over here. Y'all being divisive. Man, y'all been saying we've been divisive since day one. Give me another one, okay? We done been called worse things, family. We done been called worse things. Try another one. Remember reverse racism? A lot of people don't remember that. Do y'all remember reverse racism? They used to say, really, Black folks are the racist ones. This is reverse racism. Try another one. We don't give a damn about none of that. You can make every little petition you want to make. You can put our name on the dotted line. You can call us whatever you want to call us. You better call us paid. And if you ain't calling us paid, then you ain't saying nothing. And if you ain't saying nothing, then you're going to have to kick rocks. You're going to have to bounce. That's the way we get down. That's the way we operate. This is the era of change. This is the real-time era. I said it earlier today. Hashtag, this is our time. Our time. It's not their time. It's our time. This belongs to us, right? All right? We take ownership of it. You don't build something and then have somebody else put their flag on it. We built America. Therefore, this is our time. We built this country. Therefore, this is our time. Everything revolves around us, right? Well, if everything revolves around us, we're going to make sure you hear about it. Like I said, we ain't no different. We've always been certified foundational Black Americans. Only difference is that this era, we just say it more loud and proud. We make sure you hear about our accomplishments. We're not going to do something and let somebody else slide in. All right, we're not gonna create hip hop and the whole goddamn world is dancing, the whole goddamn world is moving, trying to mimic us, and we gonna sit back and be like, yeah, they created that. Hell no, they didn't. We did. We did. Everybody follows the leader, and we've always been the leader. And in this generation, we just more bold and more brash. We say it with our chest. We say it because we mean it. We mean what we say, and we say what we mean. And since we do that, everybody's just got to take notice, and fall all the way the fuck back. So yes, we are. I guess we dangerous then, right? And you can come up with every other one. I'll spot you the whole goddamn dictionary, A to Z. You find any little word you want, and you call us that. Have a good time doing it. All right, but you're going to call us paid too. And same way, you're going to have to call us builders. All right, we build, they steal, they flee, we keep it G, no tangibles, no vote. That's the way we moving. And that right there has definitely defined a generation. This generation is being defined by all of us, y'all. All of us, everybody in the chat. I'm telling you, I was actually in the car today, and no lie, I was listening to some oldies. I was listening to some old Foundational Black America. Ain't No Mountain was playing. Yes, we had some Isley Brothers in the car, and it had me thinking about the civil rights era. And not just the civil rights era. I'm talking about every single era and every single generation of black folks. And I was thinking, yo, we all going down in history right now. They're going to make books about this. All right. Matter of fact, we're going to make them because we're going to write our own story. So let me rephrase that. We are going to make books and movies about this generation. It's going to be the reparations, the lineage, standing on business, G-checking, regulating, whatever term we come up with, it's going to go down in history that we reclaimed Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy, right? It went from I have a dream that racism is over, that they stole, to we're coming to get our check. You see the difference, right? It's going to go from hip hop was a 50-50 creation with Latinos to no, it's all about foundational Black Americans. It's going to go from y'all's is really just Africans, all that Dr. Kubar shit, right? To no, we are Americans who built America. It's going to go from y'all are just citizens who just happen to be here to no, we are the builders. Every foundation needs an architect, and we are the architects for the whole culture, family. Everything revolves around us, and they can't shake that. But we're not done. As we proceed, family. Oh, y'all thought I was done too. No. We got more receipts, fam, because we're going to clean house. When you clean house, you don't halfway clean house. You don't sort of kind of clean house. You clean that motherfucker all the way. And I'm tired of seeing people come out every single day with some type of spite, jealousy, and envy. It's getting to the point now, family, they out here recycling ops. How you recycle ops? How you got somebody who's anti-foundational Black American try to come up with something against us. We run they ass off the block. Then they come back around and then they try to do it again. Family, did y'all see this person, this individual, this con artist, this scammer who tried to come around with tether talk, tried to come around and say that Black men's hit hers with the bricks, all right? And then now we done all pretty much regulated it. We seen the GoFundMe page. We seen somebody coming over here getting in on our culture, right? Got it, cool. Did y'all see that this person has literally came back around, family, and is trying to run a new con game? Can I tell y'all what that new con game is? May I tell y'all, this individual right here, this is what we say about these tethers, family. This is why we go hard in the paint. This is why we G-check and we regulate. This is why we leave no stones unturned. You can't halfway do it. What am I always saying, family? You cannot halfway regulate. You cannot halfway delineate. You got to go all the way. So speaking of going all the way on this individual right here, family, we all know, came out and tried to say that a Black man, blackety black, hit her with a brick. Everybody found out it was a scheme. It was a plot. It was a scam. Cool. Do you know this individual done circled the block, then did a whole goddamn square around the neighborhood, and now she's coming back trying to say that she was attacked by foundational Black American women. Now, mind you, somebody's going to say, well, she didn't say foundational Black American. When she says Black, she uses that term very loosely so they can blame us. It's the same type of tactic. You got to understand these tether tactics, y'all. These tether tactics are very simple. The same way that they'll say Black whenever these immigrants do something wrong, and then they'll say homeland whenever they do something good. That's the same way these tethers come around, these TikTok tethers or wherever they come from, and they know when to use Black when they blame us. But I guarantee you, if it was something for praise, then all of a sudden she'd be Somalian again. Yes, you goddamn right. So this individual came around, and this is why it's good that we do not internalize tether behavior. This is why we separate ourselves from tether behavior. These tethers come over here and they dump their luggage on us. They dump all their bad deeds on us, whether that's crime or gender wars. They come over here and they try to split. I believe, and a lot of people believe, this individual was not only trying to scam people on some little petty hustler stuff. I believe a lot of this stuff was being pushed. It was being elevated by some folks in the dominant society. Roland Martin, okay, roly-poly. He had a whole show talking about how black men need to do better. And as soon as it came out that she was full of it, then all of a sudden they flip-flopped again. Notice how right here, family, she went from y'all blacks men's hit me with a brick. Now she's saying y'all blacks women's hit me because y'all's old and I'm young. We do not internalize tether behavior, because if you do, all of a sudden they're going to have that jacket on you, and we are not the same.
I was like so happy to report, like, this is my first weekend out without having a panic attack. But then I got actually attacked physically. As you can see, I have a welt right here and a little welt right here. Don't worry, little bitches cannot fight. But two black women in their 40s decided to attack me as I was leaving their establishment.
One more time.
I was like so happy to report, like, this is my first weekend out without having a panic attack. But then I got actually attacked physically. As you can see, I have a welt right here and a little welt right here. Don't worry, little bitches cannot fight. But two black women in their 40s decided to attack me as I was leaving their establishment. I was like so happy to report.
Vegas hell again. No footage again. The same con. They are literally sending people at us multiple times. They will sit back, run it back. But that's the beauty, because we've been rejected them. Notice, whenever somebody would come and they would try to hijack or cosplay our culture and it worked one time, that's bad. The very fact that they got to send them in and we keep sending them back, that's good on us. That reflects on us very goddamn well. So this person right here is running that same game. Y'all remember, a lot of folks was eating that up. But us in the black grassroots, and I said it, family, when it happened, I'm promising you right now, I called it out. I said, salute to everybody in the black grassroots who did not fall for the game, because the black grassroots was not falling for it. A lot of folks was trying to play the game. A lot of folks in these damn dating podcasts was fighting. They were internalizing tether behavior. And what I said, family, we do not internalize tether behavior. So a lot of people were trying to internalize it. They was trying to make it look like it was an FBA thing. And we all know goddamn well it wasn't an FBA thing. So certified salute to the black grassroots, because the black grassroots were the only ones disallowing that shit from happening. We did not allow that person. It was not the Democratic shills. It was not all of these gender warriors, all right? It wasn't the feministness. It wasn't none of these manosphere people. It wasn't them who got that tether energy out the community. It was us. It was the black grassroots. We're the ones who didn't allow that, because them folks was eating that up, because y'all know they like that type of drama. They love that toxic tether drama. We were saying that ain't other culture. Foundational black American men and foundational black American women, we don't operate like that. We go hard in the paint for each other, because remember, the real ones are the only ones that matter. I don't give a damn if you in a room and there's 100 people and there's only 5 of y'all who are certified. That 5 is all that matters. Too many times we get outnumbered by off-coded people and we start saying that's the big representation. I don't care. You could put 1 million people who are off-code. All we need is that certified 100. We changed the world with our certified 100. Therefore, we don't have to worry about big numbers, little numbers, small numbers, tall numbers, tether here, tether there, Democratic shield. They can do all of that, but they don't exist. They can be all the way around us, but they can't come in on the inside. The only people who matter are the real ones. And we got that energy the hell up out of there. So as she's coming back again, we can run it out again. We're not playing none of them games. We're staying on it. We're staying fully focused on reparations. These are just tactics to stall us. These are just tactics to stop us. And the only reason they have to do these tactics, family, is because the last ones did not work. If the first ones worked, there would not be no second ones. Let me say that one more time. If the first one worked, there wouldn't be no second ones. There'd be no number 2. The very fact that they got to come run a number 2 on us, family, is because the first ones didn't work. And now, I guess, it's getting to the point where it's going to be number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, okay? But guess what? Each one of them are going to get regulated the same as the last one, and we will not tolerate off-code behavior, damn sure, from no tether. So the same people who try to tell us who we are, where we came from, what we're about, the same people who try to tell us what we need to do, the same people who always have spite, jealousy, envy, and hatred for us, are not going to be the same people who come over here and try to separate our certified sisters from our certified brothers. So in the next few days, you're probably going to see a bunch of people tapping in on that. You're going to see a bunch of people speaking in on that. But one thing I was going to do, we was going to make it short. We was going to make it brief. We was going to regulate, and we was going to get straight to the money. We ain't got to get back to the money because we never left it. That's what reparations is all about, and that's what this era is all about. So when you speak about us, you better speak about money, because if you ain't speaking about money, you're just wasting time, despite what everybody else says. Now, I want to show y'all this right here, family. This right here on the double. This is the election season that's coming up. And you know when the election season is coming up, you're going to get this type of behavior. Y'all see that right there. Y'all know what that is right there. When you see that type of energy and you see these folks on that type of time, then you know election season is coming. You already know. So you're going to see the Democratic shills popping up. You're going to start seeing them get all their excuses in order. You're going to start seeing them trying to play that game, protection. They just going to make up stuff because y'all know they don't even try. They just make up things. You feel me? They'll say, you know, when Joe Biden passed that law that they know didn't pass. They'll say, you know, when Kamala Harris had ended that law. No, she didn't. Okay, they just lying. That's all they do. They lie. They got to resort to lies, and they got to resort to moistercrats. We done already broke down everybody that they got to put in front of us, and everybody that they put in front of us are a bunch of people who have nothing to stand on. We stand on lineage. They stand on lies. There's a big difference when you are the two of those. So you're going to see a whole lot of this coming up, family. You're going to see a whole lot of people hating. You're going to see a whole lot of folks trying to run that con game on us, but none of these people are going to fully operate and function because everything has everything to do with us. Not some of it with us, the whole goddamn thing. Everything is about us. Everything is for us. Now, speaking of for us, family, if y'all may right now, I need y'all to put that for the culture right down there in the chat, family, because we got something coming up so big, so massive, so strong that the whole world's going to feel it. The whole world's going to understand. The game is changing, and you can't change the game going along with the same old ways, right? So all of us right now in the new black media, and remember, the new black media is all of us in the black grassroots, and remember, the black grassroots is all of us. We are pushing the envelope. We are up in the ante. We are changing the game. We're taking it to another level. It don't stop. That is all about our culture, right? Our culture is a culture of progression. All right. We took hip hop, and then we turned it into something global. All right. We took this country that started off with a small piece of land. Now we turned it into the greatest country in the world that everybody wants to run to, everybody wants to hop to, skip to, jump to, right? But when they get here, they're going to have to bow down to us. And when they get here, they're going to have to salute us one way or another. So right now, we are building and we are working on the For the Culture podcast event, and it's going to be big. And it's going to be happening, family, this Sunday at 5 o'clock Eastern time, all right? So I want everybody to pull on up, everybody to tap in. It put in a lot of work, but it was about all of us. It was for the culture. It was about how we can push things forward. And I'm not talking about just a generation. I'm talking about all of us collectively, because like I said, it's a generation in terms of time, but it's an era in terms of people. I don't give a damn. You got brothers and sisters out here riding at 70, 80 years old, putting in that work. And then you got young brothers and sisters who are 7, 8 years old. All right. So you got a 70-year-old on code. You got a 7-year-old on code. What are you going to do when you got to encounter that, family? There ain't nothing you can do about it but accept it. So a lot of people are going to have to accept it, and a lot of people are going to have to get with it. So as we say for the culture, and we say we build and we work and we shine and we grind it, when we say that we are untouchable, unbreakable, unmatched, and stronger than ever, I really mean that we are untouchable, unbreakable, unmatched, and stronger than ever. So with that said, family, y'all know that Black Alpha Network, as well as my brothers and sisters that we collaborated with this on, that y'all will all be seeing, we are going to change the game, and we're going to change the game in the best possible fashion, and I want y'all to all enjoy it. Check this out, family. This right here is for the culture, and the culture is for us.
At the same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest. They built land grant colleges with government money. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with. And this is a reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
Yes, indeed, family. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming, y'all. The next year for foundational Black Americans is going to be a big one. It is going to be monumental. I'm telling y'all, we got a lot of things working right here, as well as all of y'all. Y'all out there grinding as well, and we are all going to work together. So I'm talking about anything y'all got bubbling, let me know. I want in. Anything I got bubbling, I'm going to let y'all know I want y'all in with it. Because we work better together, man. We're strong by ourselves, but we're strong together. So this For the Culture podcast event is about all of us, and we are coming to get our check. This era is being defined by reparations. This era is being defined by lineage, and this era is being defined by regulating, G-checking, and good old-fashioned foundational Black American house cleaning. And when you do all of that, and you got all of us together in the same place in the same time, you can't do nothing else but win. And we've been winning our whole lives. What I always say, family, our whole damn life's been a winning streak. Bet they can't say that. Yes, indeed. Family, it's been great. I've been loving it, man. It's always a pleasure tapping in with y'all. It's always a pleasure, man, when we get up and we click up on Tuesdays. Salute to my brother Marcel. We had to go ahead and pay that politician a visit. We had to run some old politicians off the block, some new politicians off the block, and anybody who is non-foundational Black American first, we gonna run their ass off the block. And we're gonna do it for the culture, man. So I want everybody to stay good, stay safe, stay vigilant, man. But I always add one more thing before I go, man. I always want to break it down to the family, and I want to ask y'all this question and make a statement in the meantime. I want y'all, first off, my question to y'all is, how we move in this culture and the way we continue to progress. If y'all could DM me or hit me up and just tell me any ideas y'all have in terms of progressing the lineage, please let me know. I want to put it out there for everybody, to hear, to see, because one of the things we've been doing is we've been documenting everything. So if you got any ideas, anything that you're working on, please let me know. Oh, by the way, and to the brother who emailed me and asked me, can I, put out his book or help him with his book? I got you. And I ain't talking about no fees, family. So just letting you know, brother, you know who you are. You email me and said, do I got any fees or whatever if I promote your book? Brother, you certified, you foundational Black American. I'll do it for free. We'll get up in the back channel, family. I don't want no money, man. You just continue doing you. You continue putting in work. You my foundational Black American brother, man. So we're going to do it that way. So, yeah, man, no money, no cost, all love, man. And to everybody else, man, y'all hit me up and let me know anything that you got going, anything that's on your mind, anything that you're working on. That's the question. And the statement that I want to leave everybody with is make sure the nearest person to you that you rock with, your number one, your day one, you let them know that you love them. That's one thing we always got to do. We don't want time to pass because who's standing next to you today may not be next to you tomorrow, all right? Because this is a crazy word, and we are living in the system of supremacy. This is an anti-Black race war. And however old you are already survived it as long as you've lived. That's what I tell people, and I will continuously tell people. If you're 40 years old, that means you are a 40-year-old survivor. If you are 30-year-old, that means you've survived for 30 years. And we're going to continue to survive the anti-Black race war, and we're going to end up winning because we always win. That's the beauty of being exceptional, and that's just the beauty of being us, man. So y'all know right here on the Black Alpha Network, I salute you guys, man, 100%. Nothing but love, man. I cannot wait until next week. I cannot wait to break it down. Who going to be on the list next week, family? Who going to be on the G-Check list? What story are we going to break down? Who we going to get? What are we going to do? Where are we taking this thing? Straight to the top, because we do not stop. So with that said, man, y'all know how it go. We are one tonight. Let us all be one in the future. Power to all of our people. And remember always from the Black Alpha Network that Black is beautiful and beautiful is always Black. Peace and love, one love. Certified.
Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people. Power to the people.